Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we are playing Blue-White Tempo Cats. We've got the Guide and the Pride, and they combo to create tons of cats, gain tons of life. We've got Giver Runes to protect. We've got Mockingbird to just pile on the redundancy, potentially copy our opponent's Baragoyf or Bummaster if necessary. And then we've got the Plow, which is just so strong right now. I am very excited about this. Of course, we're playing for Tamiyo because you have to. I can't wait till she gets banned. This deck will be like, tier 1, I think, after Tamiyo gets banned, because then we don't have to play all these freaking Brazen Borrowers. But Brazen Borrower is the best answer to Tamiyo. It blocks her when she's in her creature form. It bounces her when she's in her Planeswalker form. And it's just, another blue card that you can pitch to force. I don't know why you wouldn't play for Brazen Borrower, even though nobody else is playing it. I know I look like a madman playing 4 of these, but it's so strong right now. We get the Cantrip Suite. We've got a very simple mana base that's all islands. And I'm even playing this Shockland just to have an extra Tundra. I'm not going to play Plains here. I've come to the conclusion that when you're playing 18 lands, you really do need 14 initial blue sources when you're hoping to, ponder and brainstorm to fix your bad hands. And I don't want to play a 19th land, even if it's a Surveil land, when I'm playing 30 1-drops, which is what I'm playing. So we have Giver Runes as well, just some flex slots here. This could be Samwise the Stout-Hearted. I've got this in previous videos of Samwise. I think Ajani Nikadal Pariah is a trap here. It's just not a good card. In this, there's no red and there's no way to sacrifice. You could copy with Mockingbird, but I think that's super sclerotic. Let's take a look at the sideboard. We've got 2 Prismatic Endings for tempo mirrors. We've got 2 Force Negations for combo, 3 Hydroblast for red, 3 Consigns for Karnforge, and you will occasionally encounter Eldrazi as well, and this is very good against that. And then we got the 2 Null Rods for artifact strategies and the 3 Grafdigger's Cage for the blue-black Reanimator Menace, and it's also incidentally extremely strong against Dredge for the unfortunate Dredge players who are choosing to play Dredge when everybody's got tons of Graveyard Hate even in their deck. We don't need to play main deck Graveyard Hate because I've actually found that against blue-black Reanimator, we can often just plow their monster and still win. It is a big setback, but it has happened many times. And then the one thing I'll say about this deck is it's well positioned against Quarry Steelcutter Tempo, which is one of the most represented decks in the meta right now, and it's one of the best. I think it's probably maybe the 3rd or 4th best deck. If you want to know my current tier list, Blue-Black Reanimator is by far the best deck, but Breakfast is strong. Quarry Steelcutter is strong. Karnforge is strong. So I think those are the 4 decks you need to beat, and I think we have the tools to beat them. We're going to play a full 5 rounds as always. See you in round 1. Round 1, we're on the draw against Doomsday Extraordinaire Neville Shoot. This hand has Wasteland and a Daze. I'm just going to hope they don't combo us really quick. This is a great hand, though. They're not going to be wasting us, so we can just get our Tundra and go about our business. All right, so they just open Tarn, pass. I think here I respect the fact that they have Daze in their deck. They probably have 3x. The amount that most Doomsday players play. Since they don't play Wasteland, they can't really take full advantage of Daze like we can. I could just Island Ponder, or a Tundra Ponder rather. I do want to get on the board with Ocelot Pride. I think it's unlikely they can interact with it, but it doesn't really do that much damage again. But if they have a slower hand, if they're gonna, I don't think this game gets a lot better for us if we wait. I'm gonna go ahead and just try to put it out there, and if they burn a Daze on it, it's not the end of the world. Giver Runes is complete dud in this deck because they don't have anything to go after your creatures. It's just an extra creature. And I am making a big assumption that they're actually on Doomsday. They always play Doomsday. They're well known for playing Doomsday. So we can't Daze back anymore, but this gets the clock going at least. They're going to Surveil here. I'd be terrified to play Doomsday because you have 4 cards that win the game, and it's really hard to build a deck around just 4 cards. This is not a great land to play, which tells me they probably don't have other lands. Okay, options. 1, I think wasting this is totally legit option. And then I can attack and then I can mock. They won't have an island to return. This is probably going to get a brainstorm or something. Oh, nothing. I'm going to go ahead and come in. And then I'm just going to copy this because we want to go wide. Why do we want to go wide so bad? Well, we want to just kill them and make it hard for them to stop us from killing them, because they do use their life total as a... So we get 2 cats here. Yeah, and we're basically halfway. Like, I'm going to drop this land, and then within 2 turns, we'll have the City's Blessing, and we'll just go crazy. Petal. At this point, Daze is like insane. If they try to do like a Dark Ritual, I can just Daze the Dark Ritual. No, that doesn't work. Okay, they just scooped. Our hand was pretty garbage, frankly. Like, we ponder. Let's see if it'll let us draw. Yeah, I don't even know why they show this button. I've never had it work. Like, it maybe works 1 out of like 10 times I try to use it. Okay. So Force Negation comes in. I think that's it. So we can't pull out our plows because they play a bunch of Bargoyfs and stuff. We could. So they're not playing Tamio, at least on this list that was from... So their mana base is like super lean. Wasteland's going to be good here. So they've got the 3 Street Wraiths. I wouldn't be surprised if they swap those out for Bargoyf, but they may not go the Bargoyf angle because Bargoyf's not a reliable win con when you're facing a bunch of cats. Shieldred, I think they're just going to... Am I a betting man? Yeah, this is Turbo Doomsday we're up against here. We have 4 Brazen Borrowers. If they do try to like get a Bargoyf out, there's a good chance they're dark. Is that necessary? Consign does stop the actual thing. I don't think that's where we want to be. I don't see any permanents I want to target. I guess I'm going to bring a couple of these back in. Yeah, let's do that. Null Rod is not good enough. It only hits like 5 cards in their deck. And again, you may be like, but Consign stops the Oracle trigger. Like, they're going to put a Thoughtseize in their pile if they think that you have Consign. They're not going to just walk into that usually. Not somebody like Neville Shoot. This is a Daze hand. That's all we've got going on. I think we can do better. I want a Wasteland. This is better. This is the very definition of better. Now, we have Force, and we just need a land, and we'll be fine. I'm going to put Giver Runes. Again, I should have probably boarded that out, but I do want to be able to kill. Yeah, I think I should have boarded that out. Street Wraith. Okay, that's good for us. They're doing damage to themselves. Okay, this is probably just the Thoughtseize, and they'll probably just take our Brainstorm. And then we're just chilling. Oh. Personal Tutor. Okay. Doomsday's on the top. All right, so Daze would be great. I think we just maybe force the Doomsday or the Dark Ritual, stranding the Doomsday in their hand so they don't have the ability to Thoughtseize us. No, but they wouldn't have 3 mana. I'm just going to do this, and I need to play around Daze. I think they probably have Daze as their protection spell. They may have a Force. But like if they successfully Doomsday, we're not going to race them. I will force this, and if your last 2 cards are Force blue card, you win. You win. Okay. I'm just going to give them credit that they can... what could we draw? So, yeah, I'll just let them... I'll take a look at their sideboard strategy at least. People reasonably criticize me for conceding too fast in some of these situations. I think we're like less than 1% to win, but it's fine to look at their hand. Like, I'm trying to think of what we could even draw here. And I'm not like salty about their draw or anything. I think it's, they're going to have protected turn 2s. It's just really annoying when they have protected turn 1. But we did have interaction there. We shot our shot. And they may have had what did they pitch? They pitched a Ponder. So I think this is pretty by the numbers. Just Brainstorm, LED, Cavern of Souls, Oracle, maybe like a cycle type card. We can do so I call it Buffalo Chicken Dip FOP. BCD, B is Brainstorm. Brainstorm's not in the pile. See, Cyclers are not in the pile. They may have 1 edge. Daze is not in the pile. They could have a Force in hand or in the pile. No, wait, they don't. I see it. Okay, this is so annoying that you can't source these. Interesting, LED's not in the pile, but they do have Caverns in the pile. They have a lot of freaking Street Wraiths. 3 Street Wraiths? I think they may have a Ponder in either hand or in the pile. Let's see, 1, 2. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have a Ponder in there. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and do my Guided Souls into Ocelot Pride unless I draw something really good. I think they're going to clear their pile. What they probably do is they have like fetch lands. So I'll play this out, and then I don't think they're going to win immediately, so I do have a turn to enact my Guided Souls into Ocelot Pride plan, or potentially borrow their Oracle out of play if they cast it with a non-empty pile. But I think what they're going to do is just fetch and clear their entire pile. So Brainstorm. Wasteland doesn't even do it. Like, they're going to be able to fetch. I wouldn't mind finding a Wasteland. I think it's better to go ahead and Brainstorm. We don't have to worry about days here. And I could put one of these prides back if I find a fetch. So I'll put back... I think I put back Borrower here. It might actually be enough. So we put back Borrower. No, because I need... I could Guide and Pride, and then I gain... Then this flies and attacks. That's exactly lethal. But it's not lethal this turn, no. So we would attack for 1. Wait, yeah, this could hit for more. Okay, so I'll put this back. I'll keep the days up. Let's go fetch. Tundra. It's 1 energy. Now we're going to get 2 energies. Now we're going to attack for 3. Actually, we're going to... we're going to get them low enough that they can't fetch. But I don't know if that'll win. Yes, we did it! Oh my goodness, we beat a turn 2 Doomsday with our aggro plan. That's great. Round 2, we're up against an unknown opponent on the draw again, but we have an insane hand. Look at this thing, it's beautiful. It's the thing of beauty when you have 2 lands and interaction and your best creature in your deck. I love me some Guided Souls. Gemstone Mine, okay. What degeneracy is this? Chromox. Please glass cannon me. I have the force. Pitch your entire hand. Don't veil me. Pitch your entire hand. We're going to do this. No guts, no glory, friend. You have to do it now. You are fully committed. Oh, actually, yeah, they're not fully committed. They still get to hang out of this LED because I do have to counter this. I'm going to pitch this Borrower. Okay. Storm count 6 and burning off that mana. So we're up against like ad nauseam Tendrils most likely. I will Tundra and I'll just Guide. And I'm going to assume that they're not going to just rip another one of their enablers, but they absolutely could. Ad nauseam. They wouldn't. Yeah, they probably would have mana. No, they're just like shy of mana to cast ad nauseam. So I'm going to get Guide on the table and we're going to start doing damage to them because ad nauseam does use life. Okay, and they didn't even play anything. All right, so unfortunately this plow is unlikely to do anything against them. We can get our life total out of reach of them. I'm going to go ahead and ponder. I'm going to fetch first. I always fetch before I ponder, just in case I see 2 cards I want. I think there's a higher likelihood of you seeing 2 cards you want than... I mean, that's the... And now, I've got my combo. It'll take a few turns, but we are going to go for the throat. All right, and we're gaining life here, which is making it harder for them to win. We're draining their life while gaining our life, so it's just building a buffer. So if they do have like a Dark Ritual plus another one of these, they could win here. But like their window is closing very rapidly. And they have a lot of just cards like Chrome Mox and Petal and stuff in there. Like if they naturally draw their ad nauseam, they probably can't win. I'm trying to think of other things they could have in hand here that they're thinking about. We got super lucky to have force because I would never mull to force in the blind like that. Okay, this is Burning Wish, and they're gonna activate. Oh, Infernal Tutor. They're gonna discard. That's fine. Are we dead? This is like one scenario in which we could die. 4 mana. Okay. You could beseech. Okay, they can beseech here. They have to sacrifice that. What are they getting? Oh, they're going to do the graveyard loop. I think we're probably dead to that. Yeah, I mean, like they had exactly what they needed. They got lucky on the draw, but like I do think we're dead here. They don't have a land they can play. Let's see how much mana they can produce. They don't even have a Dark Ritual. Wait, they have Cabal Ritual. So they just have to sequence correctly where they actually, can they still Cabal Ritual with Threshold? I don't think they can. Yeah, I think they may be able to like Cabal Ritual just for the storm. And then they Infernal, or they Beseech, like sacking this. They have 5 mana now. They need one more storm, and then they need to cast it. They don't have the stuff to sack to Beseech. I don't know if they can win. They might be able to Infernal Tutor for... Okay. They're just playing the black. Okay. You should never activate this, by the way. Okay, LED. I think now they do have it. Wait. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they have it they have it basically exactly. They go get Tendrils. That was a pretty genius line. Credit where credit's due. Yeah. And unfortunately, I don't have mana available to plow, and I wouldn't have anything to plow there. So, yeah. All right. So, now that we know what we're up against, this match gets a lot easier because we can just totally board out like a lot of stuff. So, I'm boarding out Giver of Runes. I'm boarding out plows. Boarding in Hydroblast for their... Boarding in... I'm going to board in Null Rods. This is okay. I don't think it's worth it, though. So, I mean, with 64 cards... So, let's think about this. Like, Tamiya is probably the best thing we can get going. We just... They don't have a lot of card advantage at all. They're just drawing a card every turn, basically. Like, the card advantage was the guy's will, where they get to redo their... Which is a lot of card advantage, but... It's possible we just trim these. Or maybe we don't... Life gain doesn't matter a lot here. And then we can just copy this and also cast Brazen Borrower and Tamiya. In this case, these can still get big, but we don't really care about gaining a bunch of life or going wide. We just want to chip them down while we're hopefully getting card advantage off Tamiya. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Like, Null Rod gives us a tremendous amount of card advantage. They're actually really susceptible to Null Rod because they're playing the Monkey Paw. This is a freaking dynamite hand. And I probably should have waited a little bit longer before I kept, but I just snap kept it. So my opponents are probably like, damn. All right, they kept. Another Gemstone Mine. Mox Opal. I think you're supposed to put the Mox Opal at the end of the sequence so they don't counter stuff to deny you Metalcraft. Chrome Mox. I don't think I've ever countered one of those. Maybe I have in some extreme situation, but you almost always are happy to get... They're tapped out. And this denies the Metalcraft as well. And this is kind of like how these games generally go. It's like you just play super conservative and defensive, and then eventually you find your Tamiya or something like that. I'm just going to play this out, and I'm going to pass. I'm not going to do anything here. I want to get a perfect Brainstorm. Mockingbird doesn't do anything here, but it is a blue card for Force. I assume they drew this for turn. Please, Dark Ritual. The more spells you cast, the better for me. Song Creation. That is a break card. Let's Hydro. That is a good card for sure. Like, that's how they kind of pull back in. So I presume they have like a Mox or something in hand. All right. I'm just going to chill and I can go ahead and do this. I want to get Tamiya down as soon as possible. Wasteland, actually, is this useful? This might be okay. I don't need this many forces. And actually, if they play Cabal ability, I could probably put it back in Force in a daze. But go like this, and then I can redraw the Force. There's no reason to shuffle it away. Like, it's an above average draw, but we're not doing anything proactive. Okay. I mean, I have to force this, unfortunately. But it is their last card. Yeah, I'm just going to force pitching the daze. They've got so much mana. I don't even want this Wasteland anymore. I think I'm just going to shuffle now and hope it's like so much better than just chilling. Because then we're getting ahead. And then if we can flip her... My opponent just put a sad face in the chat. Okay, Borrower is not bad. We can bounce this back to hand. I am going to go after the mana here. Let's hit this. Recurring Land Source. Go ahead and do this now. Hit their mana where I can. And then we can play that out later and start beating them. This is scary, though, because we only have one answer. And if they have 2 questions, we're in a bad place. Okay. Metalcraft is off now. All right. That represents this coming in, which attacks their life total. Petal. Okay. So that means they just have nothing going on, basically. This is on, though, now. Okay. Burning Wish. So I think I just let them get it, and then, essentially, I don't know what they would get here. They would need to worry about. This is risky, but, like, what are they going to get? Beseech the Mirror. Okay. So I'll just counter that. That took one off of this. hit them here. Consign is a great rip. We'll just attack. So I'm definitely going to just chill and pitch this Mockingbird to force. I don't want to play it out. It doubles my clock, but it's not necessary. I want 2 points of interaction up. Duress. Okay, now we're actually kind of vulnerable. I could force this to keep them from taking the consign. But consign, like they can flash it back if they do the graveyard path. Yeah, I think we actually lose here. Because they can do the graveyard path. No, there's not enough to bring back. They don't have any rituals in there. They may take consign here. Because they have to take it somehow. Yeah, and so we still have our force up. Mox. Just to have something to sacrifice here. And if they go for it, I'll be so happy. Because that means they're just not going to have any resources to go for it again later. They would use like everything. They listen to reason and didn't go for it. I think like it would be a huge mistake. There's Tommy. She is what we needed. So now the wind is at our back. And so we'll start having Howling Mind effect every turn. Best thing they could draw would just be another Duress or a Thoughtseize. All right, Strand is just not going to be played out. I'll draw, and then, I mean, it's not impossible for me to lay it out, but I do want to just draw here. Yeah, I think we just chill. I could play this out because it gets us closer to Hardcast Force, but I don't think it's going to matter because we have Tomio. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have played that out, but we're going to need to play that anyway if we find like a Brainstorm. Okay, so now that we've got a ball game. Yep. And this was originally the clue up because then there would have been like some doubt as to whether they'd be able to get through. It's not clear to me what they're going to be able to get with Beseech. They do have a land drop here. Even if they Gaia's Will, I don't think they can get enough Storm, but I could be wrong. Because they don't have a ritual effect. We've already countered their Song of Creation. Oh, they could potentially replay Song of Creation. They don't have any. They do have a card in hand that they can potentially pitch to Chromox to create mana. There's Gaia's Will. Okay, so we're just going to have 6, and I'm going to narrate as they attempt to get enough Storm to win. I never lose to this deck. It's very rare. I know that sounds like oh no, but like it's extremely rare that I lose to like really any Storm. But you know, you encounter these situations where you have really strong Storm players. Okay, if they have one more Storm, they can win. So I think they do win because they can just Beseech and get Tendrils. They didn't even need to do that. What was their last card in hand? Yeah, they have plenty of things to Beseech. The game's over. It's a humiliating defeat to what I think is a pretty underpowered Glass Cannon-y deck. Like, our hand was insane. I don't know how they managed to get through all that. The double Duress definitely helped. Yeah, they didn't even have to use their life total as a resource. They're going to... Yeah. Good games. Okay. So... nothing to be learned there. This I've played against this deck so many times over the years, like both the Epic Storm and the this Ad Nauseam Tendrils version, which I think is inferior to the Epic Storm, but they're both kind of like they are extremely high skill decks if you want to consistently win with them. I don't know that we did anything wrong other than play out this land. And crack that clue. Again, I do think it was a misplay, just a very minor misplay, because then they could proceed with confidence. With that clue on, they never knew if like the top card was going to be a Force or a Daze or something. But yeah, shout out to my opponent for winning with such a dated deck. I don't know how to put it gently. Speaking of the Epic Storm, I believe Valgrim only plays the Epic Storm. It's the only thing I've ever seen them on. I think this is a mulligan against a Storm. Like, I want a Force or at least a Daze. This is a totally dead card. I am happy that I'm getting like these 2 land hands, or I guess technically there's 3. So here, I think we just put back a land and we can still open Guided Souls and copy it and get a little bit of forward momentum. But I actually think it's better to just open Tomio here. I'm going to put this back because I only want to fetch once, because fetching a second time makes me a little more dead to Tendrils. Like, it's one less Storm they have to get. Next turn, if I draw a blue card, I could, in theory, like guide and mock it. But I could also just draw a card and be a little bit closer to stopping what they're doing. Raucous Theater. Song of Creation to the yard. Yep, just storm things. All right, that's a great card. That allows us to flip her and just apply pressure with her, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tick her up while hiding. I can just put back Guide of Souls and just grab more blue cards. And we're, doing the on-the-play Tamiyo thing against them, which is great. All right, I'm going to put back the Fountain, and I'm going to put back Guide. I will plus, and I will chill. I'll just fetch string. I'll probably actually fetch string end step and just get the Shockland out of the deck, since I don't need the mana for anything. Okay, Mortuary. I am very much looking forward to wasting this, because this represents Veil. All right, let's go ahead and just waste that, and then I'll pass with lots of blue cards up. All right, 2 turns until Tamiyo Armageddon. Another green source. Scary Wary. Petal. Dark Ritual, they're going for it. Thoughtseize. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm going to let them do it. Now that I know what they're up against, I have Brainstorm and I have Clue Crack at instant speed. Try to find like a daze, but they have tons of mana now. Man, can we lose from this position? That would suck. I feel like we had an insane start and we had a great hand. They took the Brainstorm, so they have a Veil, unfortunately. We can be very confident of that fact. So forcing will just add to their Storm. And unfortunately, it's not responsible to force into Veil, even if they don't have the Veil. Like, they just got us. It sucks. But like I'm giving them Storm, and I'm also 2 for winning, or 2. Like I'm also giving them the card draw. There's the Veil. I think this is probably a good time to just see if we can draw like a daze or a second force. Okay, I'm going to daze it. That was a great rip. This might keep them off what they want to do. Huh. Galvanic Relay. Okay, I think maybe they were planning the Galvanic Relay the entire time. I'm just going to let these resolve. Let's see what they exile. I haven't seen this card in a while. I don't think it's very good right now because the formats, they've got a ton of mana out there and a Burning Wish. So we just stopped the Burning Wish, and I think we're good. This card, they didn't even want it in exile. Yeah, I think we just won. I could be wrong. They still have 2 cards in hand. All right, Ponder. I think we just Ponder for a force here. I'm going to plus. Maybe that's a mistake because like this is the big... I would take a Wasteland. So they definitely... Let's see. Chrome Mox. They definitely have mana. A second force. I think this is just... And then I'm going to go ahead and Ponder a second time. No, I could whiff on blue card. Wait. Did we see a Tamiyo on top? We're not going to whiff. I'm going to go ahead and Ponder. Yeah, this sucks. This actually doesn't accomplish what I was hoping it would accomplish. But this does move cards around and make our opponent think like, oh, they could have anything now. So we're just going to double force this Burning Wish. And hopefully that'll be good enough. Actually, I'm tempted to just let them Burning Wish because if they get like... What can they get? How are they supposed to win? Okay, this is Dark Ritual from hand. No thanks. Oh, I just showed them one of the cards I drew. That was a punt. Okay, now they can fetch, and then they can Burning Wish. So their Storm is going to be pretty high here, because they can also... What do they put under there? Storm 4. They still have the Mox Opal they can play out, and the LED. LED. Mox Opal. I am going to just force your Burning Wish, and then you lose. Okay. So, same exact drill as last time. Consigns come in. Hydroblasts come in. Forces come in. No rods come in. Giver comes out. Ocelots come out. Plows come out. Perfect substitution. We still have Clock if we need it, but we are almost all blue. Like, just to show you how blue our deck can become. And this is a point of pride. Like, I really do think you want 30 blue cards in your deck when you're in a game 2 or game 3 situation. 36 blue cards. 36. There is no amount of blue that is too much. Like people are like, 20 is plenty. No, it's not. You're gonna be sad that you didn't play more blue cards. And I'm like a huge advocate of like blue lands, blue cards. Like it's the best color in Magic for a reason. Play it. All right, this is not a keep. We can't count on these Wastelands to get us there. They could absolutely turn one us. Looking for a 1 or 2 land hand. This is... They began with 7 cards in hand. They are probably going to take a slower approach. But if they don't, we're really screwed. I think I just put back the Mockingbird, which is just like a dumb blue card. Like, it doesn't really do anything in this deck. Oh, man, this is such a bad hand, though. Yeah, we could find like a null rod. We could find lots of stuff. I'm going to roll one more time. This is better. It's not a lot better, but I'll keep this. Yeah, I'll put this back. So we don't have any turn 1 interaction, but they may have drawn, like, assume we were mulliganing the force. But they are extremely adept at this, and they know that I'm not a pushover either. I've played against them, I don't know, dozens of times probably. So they're going to know that, like, I could have just stood on 5 cards instead of mulliganing further. But they also know, like, if they know anything about me, they know I play a lot of force negations in my sideboard. And today I'm only playing 2 because we're playing 4 days. Boseiju Who Endures is their land. So we can be confident that they have Veil. I think it'd be foolhardy to waste here. Maybe we do waste and that slows them down further. Yeah, I'm going to try that. Man, like my screen like flickered and then I was about to waste my own land. What is going on? Why does the screen keep flickering when I'm trying to target stuff? Okay, good. It actually targeted their land. Luckily, if you try to waste your own land, it gives you like a confirmation. Man, that was terrifying. What's going on in MTGO that they're doing this? This is cool art. I haven't seen this. Catacombs. And like it sucks to target this when there's lots of other things. Oh no, are they going to go for it now? Okay, Dark Writ. Yeah, they're going to just win. Happens. This is a good card. So they're on kind of like an epic gambly thing. They did mill us into a force hand. Okay, so that's not the end of the world. Oh my goodness. I am going to have to shock this in though. Yeah, because I only have 2 points of interaction. Or technically I have, well, no, only 2. This way if the thought sees me, they don't know what's on top of my deck. I could have like tons of additional interaction. So they have to kind of respect it. They do have a really thick graveyard in case they want to like start flashing stuff back. So the deck we're playing against right now is much better constructed, in my humble opinion, than the kind of like retrograde, but also scary Ad Nauseam Tendrils deck. And I believe Ad Nauseam Tendrils did really well at like the European Eternal Weekend last year. But yeah, I'm going to do the rare End-Step Brainstorm. I need forward momentum here. There's a decent chance because I need to find a land and I need to be able to stick a land and potentially mulligan or shuffle next turn. And we just have entirely too many brainstorms in our hand. Okay, this is not great. So I'll put that back. I guess I could just draw these. Yeah, so what I'm going to do here is a sad Guide of Souls. I'm going to waste them off green. That's the scary color for me. That's the Veil color. Seems completely trivial and probably will be trivial. But like I couldn't cut all my threats and just wasn't enough stuff to bring in. This is a gamble. This is a daze. Yeah, and you can like gamble and let them discard stuff, but they're going to go get probably LED here. So we're drawing another bad card. I am going to go ahead and chill for a turn. I'm not even going to untap it because I don't want to get closer to death. Like make their storm too easy for them. It's unfortunate that this is the one land that we had because I would like to hold Brainstorm up, but I don't think it's worth it to shock my... Just for the option of playing a suboptimal Brainstorm. Next turn, we're going to get a Brainstorm and we're going to... this would just be for desperation Brainstorm, so I don't think it's worth it. I do think that Wasteland was impactful because it's like totally turned on our dazes. Petal's cool. Thutsies, I'm going to let it go. They may take Brainstorm if they have a Veil. If they put like a LED or anything out, I'll probably daze it just to make them use. They took the force. They're passing. Okay. That's a good rip. Let's go ahead and try to Brainstorm. Oh, man, I whiffed on land. That's bad. Guide of Souls is not a bad card to play out, but I kind of think Tomio... Oh, man. Swiper. That's what I think. The swiper thing. I know that because I have a dollar. So sorry for the banter. I'm just trying to decide what to do. I think we just do put back the guide. I'm not going to hide anything. I don't want this borrower at all. Like it just doesn't help us, and we want to max blue cards here. Next turn, I can play out the guide, and it will see the other guide, and it'll gain us some life, and it'll get us closer. And then when we do, inevitably play this Tomio, which I want to play the subsequent turn, so I can get like a bunch of life and hit them for more. We will, yeah, because we're in kind of like a stalemate-y situation. As far as they've cleared our stack interaction, but we actually have lots more stack interaction that they didn't know about. So I'm hoping they go for it here and we can punish. But we're like up, presenting like the tiniest of clocks. Another petal. Green carpet. That's fine. Carpet's not loading in its beautiful Rebecca Guai art for some reason. I love this card. Another carpet, sure. Like, what is your hand? I guess this is good because you can sack it to, what's it called? But I'm just not going to play out any more lands if that's the case. My opponent doesn't know it, but I've got 31 drops in my deck. Right? And everything else is just cast, pitch cast, essentially. That was cool, though, that they used the green from this to play the other carpet. It's like an infinity money glitch, except you do run out of cards in hand. All right, cool. All right, so this is just guide. Gain a life. I'll attack you for 1. I know. I'm sure you're very scared. Next turn, we play Tommy. We gain a ton. I mean, there's also an argument that we could like just daze this back to hand when they cast a spell and just never play it back out to negate the benefit of these while we slowly beat them down. But I don't think we'd actually slowly beat them down. I don't think it would be. I don't think that would be fast enough. I think once we get this Tomio out, then we could do that. Dark Ritual's fine. What do you got cooking over there? I am ready to deal with double veil. Or I'm ready to deal with 1 veil. That's fine. My son just brought me his pizza crust. So this has to be countered, unfortunately. I think it's just forced negation on pitching a daze. That's strong. That's strong. They're going to have tons of mana next turn. If I daze one of these, then they don't get tons of mana next turn on their critical turn. But they do have this mana. I think I do daze here. I'm going to daze one of them. I'm going to do it early. That may seem crazy because we're turning off our own clock, but like they have double carpet out. Okay, and they just let me counter one of those. Did that work? Okay, they have a lot of stuff in exile here. If they can Hellkite, they don't have the mana to do anything. They can Veil, but they won't be able to beseech. They could gamble. Yeah, I think they're pretty choked on mana. Like this represents some mana. They might be able to go off. It's worth noting that if I don't play a Hallowed Fountain, I don't have days up. So what they could do is they could Veil, and then I have to... But they don't have any more mana. So we're drawing Borrower, which is a pitch. Yeah, I think that is correct, though, to deny the mana. We'd hit them for 4. They're doing this now? Yeah, I'm going to force this. I'll pitch Daze, because I'm not going to be able to use it this turn cycle. Yeah, I think they just totally screwed themselves by getting greedy here. I guess maybe it makes more sense to pitch Tomio, but I'm going to pitch Daze. Okay, and next turn, I don't know what they can even do. They won't have any mana. And then after that, I can play out my land. Okay. See, they could gamble, but they're going to discard... No, they could still gamble. They could gamble for LED. This is in exile, but it's not in their hand. I think they probably just gamble for LED. No, wait. It will definitely go to their graveyard. What are they gambling for? Wait, they do have a card in hand. Okay, because they're gambling from exile. So they discarded the LED. Okay, love it. Now they're going to try again. 50% chance they discard the LED. Come on. Echoes. Okay, so now they do have the LED, and we are going to go for a spin. No? Oh, yes! Yes! I feel so proud of my play here. And I still have Tomio, so I can trigger this and do a lot of damage here. And I can even Brainstormer. Yeah, I'm going to shock that in. I'll gain the life right back. Tommy. This doesn't even matter anymore because these cards are like forever in exile. So let's go to combat here. Yes, I'd like to use the ability to buff my dude. Take 4, you're at 8. And we don't have any stack interaction. I don't know what they could draw, though, that would be devastating for me. Beseech would be pretty good. Yeah, like Beseech would be like an insane rip. They're adding blue. Oh, wait, they can still echo. I forgot. How did they get that other echo in the grave? Oh, yeah, because they discarded it to gamble. Okay, well, you're going to flip my Tommy. And then hopefully I'm going to find a force. I haven't exiled any forces. I will have days as well, which may not be good. Oh, my Tommy flips. Okay, I do have a force. I don't think that's good enough if they can win this turn. They still have green for Veil. Veil is such a terrifying card, man. I can pitch Mockingbird. Can I kill next turn? I can't. I'm close. Okay. Gamble's fine. They're thinking, okay, they have a 40% chance of having a force. Plus the 2 force negations, they really have like a 60% chance. That's what my opponent's probably thinking. And what they need the blue mana to echo. So they LED, they have blue mana, they echo. They don't have a high enough storm count to win through other means, I don't think. Yep. Good games. Wow, that was intense. All right, we're having a Stormalicious freaking league here. We're up against TonyScapone, legend in the combo brewing space. I'm going to mulligan this. I'm going to mulligan this as well. Oh my goodness. I am going to mulligan this. Okay, this is the hand you keep, and like it may seem like really weird to mulligan so aggressively, but like he's almost certainly on combo, and our hand was terrible. Like all those hands were terrible. So I'll put back this. I think Tamio is the one thing that can like rebuild here. So I'm just gonna go Island Tamio. If I get a turn. Often he is able to win on turn 1 through, he invented the epic gamble or certainly popularized it. A lot of decks. So Brainstorm, this looks very stormy. He could be on, no, 8cast wouldn't be playing Brainstorm. Why are my cards not loading in? There we go. Look at that beautiful Mercadian Mass Brainstorm. I'm partial to the Ice Age ones myself. But I know lots of like legacy players that are like, this is their favorite art. I like Christopher Rush personally. Okay, so Tarn. That's the first land drop of the turn. This could be like Riddlesmith. I mean, if they're on blue-red. Okay, LED. There hasn't been a force here. Okay, so this is just for Storm, I presume. And now we force. Yeah, I'm going to force that. Because that will definitely have negative consequences for me. I'm going to force pitching my force. Because I need to rebuild. My hand is like nothing, basically. Okay, and now we're in garbage time. Like they played their hand out, and I had a disciplined Moldua force. I'm gonna play this out so I don't take any damage because that like going down to 18 could be the difference. All right, and now we will see whether they can find a bomb before I can rebuild. All right, Tony's passing priority here. A Mockingbird doesn't do anything. I am going to play this land out just so I can crack a clue. I don't think Daisy's going to do anything here. It's tempting to just... no, I'm just going to... I'm going to wait in case they have a Tatsis. I'll end step it. Veil, I'm not going to bite. They must have the combo. Burning Wish. Going in and cracking. Yeah, we're like totally screwed here. Beseech. And look how fast he does it. He's so experienced at this. Okay, so we're dead. This is probably Song of Creation, maybe. Or not Song, because he doesn't have any... It's just the Guy's Will thing. Wait, is that Beseech into Beseech? Oh, yeah. He's going to try to storm me out? Oh, no, it's just Guy's Will. Okay, so I presume we're dead. I'm just going to F6. Because I can't counter any of his stuff anyway. I absolutely could have like cracked this, but I was hoping that maybe it was a bait. And sometimes he will bait. He's one of the best, combo players. I don't think there's a possibility of whiffing here. He has plenty of mana. I'm like, he clicks things faster than like the UI can even represent it. And I have all my animations, everything turned off. No sounds. The Tendrils. And all right. So now, hopefully, we're not going to have to mulligan to 4. And our deck is just going to be exactly like it was previously. We saw red cards. Wow. We're getting the full storm treatment. Yeah, no rod. And then I'm just going to do what I've been doing, where I just take out the Ocelot Prides and the Plows. Tony does not like creatures. I don't think he'll play Fair Friday sometimes, where he'll play creatures, but let's keep this. Certainly can be an argument for bringing in Prismatic Ending, but I've found that it's just so limited. Like, they can just hold their powerful permanents and then play them out on their storm turn, like Carpet and stuff like that. And Tony's not playing the Epic Storm. He's probably playing the Epic Gamble, even though the Epic Gamble is practically the same as the Epic Storm now. The Epic Storm has kind of merged into an Epic Gamble direction over the past year or so. But he's not necessarily playing the same list as the previous round, is what I'm trying to say. It's possible that a lot of people are playing Storm because there's like this trophy race whenever the league resets, which is just reset a few days ago, and people just want to like get as many trophies as possible and become the trophy leader. And you would argue, I mean, like, I might actually play a league with Doomsday, or not Doomsday, Death Shadow, because it's probably the best anti-storm. This is a keep. So I'm just going to open Guide of Souls here. Is that correct? I want to get on the table and do something. I could hold up Hydroblast, but I've already got 2 other points of and just getting this on the table, at least we've got a clock. We have something we can copy with Mockingbird. I'm glad that I can keep this hand, though. They mulled a 6. I think it's fine to just chill and not play this. That way I don't crack this just in case they have Carpet. Okay. I don't think they have any basics in their deck. I think I still want to kick it. Like, this doesn't do that much. Like, hitting them for 1 or 2 each turn. We're not going to draw the Ocelot Pride and go wide. We just need to get through their first wave. Usually they have like a critical mass of like fast mana and some number of protection spells / payload spells that, yeah, man, it is actually getting worse for us the longer this goes without us playing anything. I'm going to go ahead and make a move here. I'm just going to play this out. And this could be a fatal mistake. I wasn't quite to discard step yet. I could have waited a turn. Okay, they're not doing anything, so I'm not punished. And now I have my creature on the table. They discard Echo. All right, that's good to see. Because we know about it now. I'm just going to attack, and I'm going to keep all my resources up. Yeah, I could brainstorm here. There's definitely a risk that I whiff on land. If I whiff on land, it's super humiliating to like lose with double Hydroblast. Because there's a decent... Well, yeah, I'm going to do it now. I'm going to see if I can find a land. No guts, no glory, right? We have plenty of blue cards we can put back and still... Oh! Ouch. All right, so if we're going to shuffle our deck, this does shuffle. What do we not want here? Like, I could win a force fight. I don't think Borrower is good in this matchup. It's just a blue card. I only have 1 days. I'm going to do it like that. Yeah, that sucks, though. That really sucks. Still not fetching. Now they know I'm brainstorm locked. But they don't realize that I have 3 force effects plus a daze. But I'll be a lot happier once I have Hydroblast up 2. I don't know that they're going to go to discard again. That is a pretty big feel bad. But Tony is an expert. And if he thinks going to discard is the right thing to do, he'll go to discard instead of going for it here. He could just chill and sculpt a little bit longer. It looks like he is going to. Now it's going to be our turn to go to freaking discard. Oh my goodness, this feels so bad. Yeah, and even if I drew the Brazen Borrower, it wouldn't do anything here. The card I'm going to put into the grave is going to be a... He doesn't know that we're playing Daze. We didn't show him Daze last time. I guess I could put a Hydro... no. I might be able to... I could technically double Daze here. Yeah. Unfortunately, we're going to have to discard yet again next turn. He might go for it finally. This Song of Creation was the discard last time, and that is something that he could potentially put in with Guy's Will and a bunch of rituals. A whole lot of nothing here. I'll just come in. I think the card that gets discarded is sadly... Well, Brazen Borrower is a little bit of a clock. I think I still haven't shown Daze, and I could double Daze. Don't know that it's going to be relevant. I think the card we discard is a Daze here. No, yeah. I don't think it's likely that Daze matters. And Borrower can like potentially bounce something out. And at least if I can bounce something back to his hand, like a like let's say he taps, plays green, plays like a carpet, plays a Mox out, anything. Okay. Now we're finally drawing wild. Land, please. I will play it, and I'll just attack, and I'll pass. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it hard for him. He can't fetch and surveil anymore. We're going to hopefully make it hard enough that he can't rebuild. But he can always fetch and just play out the lands. But we're not having to discard because we found a land. And he's probably like, what does your deck do? Why are you relying solely on this? Well, we had to take out our win cons to make room for our protection spells. Okay, and this is what I tell people, like, fetches are so insanely good because they allow you to be wasteland proof even with your fully dual mana base. Underground Sea. This is going to be the Thoughtseize. Dark Ritual. Sure. Dark Ritual. Lion's Demon. Okay, I'm just going to stop the payload spell. Or the spell that actually wins with my triple Force-Hand. This is a fetch. I'm not even worried if they whatever it's called, because I'm going to waste a lot of their lands. Veil. That has to be countered. How do we counter it? I don't think Daze is good here. I think that's the worst card in our hand. I mean, Daze could be relevant, whereas this is almost certainly not. Okay. Does he still want to go for it? This is Epic Gamble, or a Galvanic Relay, probably. Maybe it's not. He does play Galvanic Relay, though. I see one in this graveyard. Relay for 6 is pretty good. I can stop the Storm Trigger. I think that's worth doing. I know that this can stop other Storm Triggers, but yeah. And then I'll let that one resolve. You get a Beseech the Mirror. That's a pretty good one. It's a pretty good one. Okay, they've got a lot of mana in the pool. They are not content to sit back here. Echo Vions. I will just force them to negate that. It's going to be exiled anyway for the turn. Okay, they scooped because we could have wasted their lands and they were just chilling there like that. Yeah, I am glad that I went ahead and consigned because he could have potentially found, like, that would have been essentially like a draw 6 kind of. It's not quite a draw 6. So yeah, our extremely defensive posture there paid off. It is possible that we should be putting Pride Mage in, or Ocelot Pride in for some of the dazes. I'm going to do that. Cool. And that, I mean, we do have a really high blue count. Actually, I wouldn't mind doing Borrowers too, but it didn't give me time to do that. But this way we do have a way to kill, which is something we lacked prior. This is fine. This hand is actually pretty good. So Tommy, and then we've got like protection spell and like double protection. And I'm just going to assume that getting Tommy down turn 1 is worth going off consign. But it always feels good to end a game against a combo player and still have force blue card in your hand. That means that you won by a pretty big margin. We will keep this. They have mulled to 6, which I would dare say that Tony mulls more often than he doesn't. Okay. Those Wastelands were really good at slowing our opponent down last game. I wouldn't mind taking one, but I really just want more blue cards. Like a Force of Will or... Oh, Christmas! It is Christmas morning up in the Be Excellent residence. And this is how we win. We just outvalue them with our one-sided Howling Mine. Tale as old as time. I'm sure Tony's going to be very excited when Tomio gets banned too. It also makes Empty the Warrants like a terrible card. Okay, they binned the Song of Creation. That was an effective Undercity Sewers. So it's rare to just naturally have 2 forces. They're probably not going to play around that contingency. Or they're going for something here. Brainstorm. And then get a perfect Brainstorm here. By the way, if you haven't checked out Tony's stream, I don't watch Twitch. I just watch YouTube on double speed. But Tony is like one of the funnest streamers in Legacy. All right. Tony has finished brainstorming. It was a pretty long brainstorm. It took like 2 minutes. So definitely in the tank over there. I do not envy him having to play that extremely difficult deck, choosing to play it. I mean, he could just play a fair deck like me if he wanted to not have to think so much. Like, if he wanted to think, like, not have his decisions condensed. Yeah, I mean, that's just, we're jamming that. Not much of a discussion. I will create the clue first, just in case he wants to gift a fish on this. And I would love to crack that, but, you know, shutting off all his artifacts is definitely more valuable. I don't think he has any, like, force type effects or anything like this. I think this is just going to resolve. And he might try to bounce it, and I can just force. I do think that this is extremely powerful against him. Because now he has to use, like, spell-based mana if he wants to get ahead. Brainstorming again. He Myers. Blue-red. I think this is the force. I'm pretty sure, like, what could he get? Is there some uncounterable? Yeah. It could be like, what's it called? I'll just pitch the Mockingbird here. I can't remember the name of the card. Oh, Abrupt Decay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, so Abrupt Decay would deal with this. Hydroblast is a good rip. I'll just come in. I am going to go ahead and ponder just to try to find a Wasteland here, because I can knock them off green and red at the same time, which would be insane. This is, I think this is a shuffle. We don't really need another force negation in my humble opinion. We've got plenty of stack interaction. I'm looking for a Wasteland or some way to close the game. A Brainstorm would be great. There's the Wasteland. And now their mana is severely curtailed. They don't have access to Veil. I was tapped out last turn. I was just like, wait a second, why didn't I Hydroblast that? I was indeed tapped out due to casting Null Rod. So I'm not crazy. Daisy's a live draw, like lots of live draws now. I'll play it out. We'll just keep racking up clues in case they ever somehow get Null Rod out of play. Like, they're bricking, like a lot of their draws are bricks now. Another Tommy is not really what we want to see, but it pitches to force. I think we just find Brainstorm, we brainstorm, and then the game is going to end pretty quickly with Tommy Ultimate. Borrower doesn't do a lot. I'll probably actually just flash it in. Oh, I should have attacked. That was dumb. It doesn't matter. It really does not matter. Okay, yeah, and this is definitely just Brazen Borrower coming in. Like, just as a dumb beater. They're discarding probably Echo if they have it. And that is something I do need to force if they have the mana to cast it. So importantly, this Hellkite can't be countered, but they would need to generate a ton of mana, and I'm not going to let them do that. I'll force like a Dark Ritual effect. They don't have red mana at all right now. Gosh, we keep drawing these Tommies. Well, I have to believe this Null Rod's already done worse than us, but we have forgone like 5 draws. Tarn. No attacks, or no action, I guess. They're never going to attack. I don't think I've ever been attacked by TonyScapone. Another Null Rod. I think I play it out just to slam the door. They could have like Echoing Truth, but usually these decks have stopped playing Echoing Truth. This does mean that we won't have both Consign and Hydroblast up on the turn, though, but I think it is correct to play it out. They could have the Gift of Fish thing right now and just, I don't know what they would do. I don't know why they're waiting. Check my internet connection. All right, 500 megabits. 600. Attack all. And, you know, we're playing 2 Null Rods. So let's play 2 Null Rods. It's too bad that we don't have Ocelot Pride. We could just immediately get the City's Blessing with all these clues. Okay, Commercial District. They're at 10. So really 4-turn clock, which means Borrower's now a faster clock than Tomio. Tomio really hasn't accomplished anything, unfortunately. But, you know, again, we've like locked off so many cards in their deck. So I can force and I can consign. I don't know what I'd do. They're fetching to 9, so now it's the 3-turn clock. I think we let this resolve. I could have absolutely blasted that. I'm not sure what they're going to get, though. They could get Galvanic Relay, but they'd need to like dump like all their stuff from here. I don't know. Maybe this was a Hydroblast and I just punted. They could have like Destroy All Artifacts, Pulverize. I think that can be countered, right? How does this card work? Sacrifice 2 islands, destroy all artifacts. Yeah. Didn't counter, because now I can just counter that with a single Hydroblast after they sacrifice 2 mountains. This is sorcery. They're not going to do it now. Okay. Well, okay. I will play this land out. So if they had like double Veil, they don't have 2 green. I'm trying to think of a situation. Like they would have to use a lot of resources to overload our interaction. So I'll just force this. I'm not going to mess around. LED's fine. Yeah, these are fine. I'm not sure what they're planning to do here. Galvanic Relay. I can just consign the Storm Trigger. They are dead in 2 turns. Storm is 5. Yeah, I do need to consign the Storm Trigger. I should go ahead and replicate. Okay, just in case they have like, I don't know, like a Hydroblast or Pyroblast or something. I don't think they could. So they get 1 card. Echo of Eons, which they can't cast. That's pretty lucky for us. Seiju, okay. Okay, Ponder's good. I'm trying to think, is there anything that could kill them this turn that I could draw? I don't think there is. I'm just going to attack. They're at 3. How good is Brazen Borrower? Like, it's a blue card to pitch for force, but it like we would never win if we hadn't had this card. So let's go ahead and ponder here. This way I can, like, since I have so much mana, I think it's fine. Ocelot Pride doesn't end the game immediately. None of the other cards really matter. Ocelot Pride doesn't matter. All right. I'll take it. I will take it. My goodness. We've gotten so freaking lucky. Like, Force, then Null Rod, and then we naturally drew a second Null Rod. It's just been an insane game 3. I don't think they can wait any longer on Pulverize because they're dead on board. So we just Hydro this, and then we have 4. So I'll just force if they're thoughts using me here. What are they doing? Oh, they're just floating. They passed priority, so they wouldn't have been able to LED. They would have lost it. This keeps them alive, but that's all it does. All right, we'll just keep hitting them. We shuffled that, right? So we're drawing wild. Guided Souls. I'll play it out. Yeah, I'm going to play it out. Look at all these clues. This probably doesn't do anything. I probably should have held it in case I drew a Brainstorm. That was probably actually a punt. Because we're just going to be able to kill him with this Brazen Bar. Mockingbird. So Mockingbird, copying Guided Souls, still doesn't change anything. We do gain a life. That might be useful. Okay, they dropped the 2. If we mock, then they can't like bounce this out of play and survive another turn cycle. Okay, we're at 12. I can't imagine what they could draw here. Okay, they scoop. That was fun. GG's, Tony. Have a good stream. I presume he's streaming. Final round, we're 3-1 after beating 2 Storm decks and losing to 1. This is a mulligan, I think. Our opponent's likely on Karnforge. Oh, man. Let's think about this. So, Pride. Mock it. That may be able to outrun them. They may have K command. They've already mulled the 6. If they have things that can block, we can borrow them out of the way. I think I'm going to keep this. I don't know what they're on, but this is like a good aggressive hand, but we're on the draw, which kind of changes the dynamic a little bit. They mull the 5. We're just going to get stormed again. Mountain. Okay. So it could be like Moon Stompy. Gosh, that makes me... If it is Moon Stompy, I'll feel so foolish if I don't just grab a island here. Because I'll be locked out for the rest of the game from doing any... But with an island, like I'm totally fine regardless of what they do. I think I am going to just take it slow. Next turn I can like Pride and double mock, assuming they don't have Chalice. But if they have Chalice, then I can just bounce. But like, the most common opening for these decks is... Yeah, I am going to go ahead and get an island here. It doesn't matter when I do it. Just out of respect. So this is good because I can just Pride and then copy it. Okay, Daze is great. Daze is so good against these decks. Then we're going to do this, and then we're going to hope that they don't also have Fury, which generally you wouldn't keep Fury on when you're mulliganing. And then we can borrow this construct out of play and gain a bunch of life, which will be really nice. And also, oh wait, we don't even need to necessarily borrow it out of play because we have a flight on this. Yeah, flight on Mockingbird like just makes it so powerful. It's technically a bird, which makes me want to play it in the Chocobo deck. I haven't played the Chocobo deck yet. I'm not convinced it's good. Okay, 3 mana. Go ahead and like exile and then like try to One Ring or something. Come on. You know you want to. Hey, this is the days. Do you have the guy that makes all of Jaya Ballard's spells smell like burnt hair? No. Don't. Okay, well, we're in a very good position. I'm glad I kept this hand. This is like one of the slowest Moon Stompy starts I've seen in a long time, but they probably just had bad luck because they mulligan twice, and you don't want to mulligan that much. You maybe want to mulligan once. All right, we're about to go incredibly wide. I mean, like Fury still wrecks us. I will go ahead and play this out too. Now we can just attack. We're not going to get the City's Blessing yet. We are going to get 3 cats though. Let's see, 7. Actually, we do get the City's Blessing, which I think only triggers 1 time. So yeah, we're only going to get the City's Blessing bonus 1 time, but we are going to get it. No, wait, we're not. Because we only had 2 lands. Never mind. We've got a formidable board presence. This is the Fury turn if they have it, but it doesn't necessarily mean they win because they forewent one of their constructs last turn by trying to cast that. They just scoop. Okay. I think this is a good matchup, but we don't have planes in our deck because it's just rare that you run into this deck. On the draw, I am going to play Force Negation. Cards that are going to get cut are... I know it was good there, but it's not really that good against their deck. I'm also going to cut a land. I'll cut this because we're on the draw and they don't go after our land at all. I think that's the build. Yeah, so we brought in 3 Hydros and 2 Forces, and we took out 4 Dazes and a land. No Rod does stop a lot of stuff in their deck. It stops the One Ring and it also stops their Moxen. I think it might be worth bringing in 1. And if we're bringing in 1, I think we trim a Ponder. I think actually I trim a Tommy. Nope, Tommy. Yeah, I'll trim a Tommy. Just because she's a 1-drop. I am tempted to bring this Prismatic Ending in, but without a planes in our deck, this is really just for decks that have a lot of 1-drops, and our opponent's deck doesn't have a lot. Please stick a Chalice. Brazen Borrower is a more flexible answer to that. All right, this is a great hand. We can just get Island, and then we have Ponder, and yeah, and then later we'll do this stuff. But my instinct is to always just get an Island as soon as possible. They are almost certainly... I mean, they could have taken out the... because they saw we're 2 colors, and they might assume that we have, Island and Plains, but we actually don't have the Plains. But this Ponder will find a second land, most likely, even though we're down to 17 lands. We just have to counter Chalice. Okay, and they mulliganed to 6, and then they didn't have an explosive turn 1, so we were very lucky here. All right, I mean, we could just guide. I think we can guide and then Pride next turn, and that's more powerful. But that is... I think we just wait a turn cycle. And we do it with an Island, just in case. Because I'll be so embarrassed if they just Blood Moon, and then we force, and then they have another one. Okay, this is great. This is insane. So I don't want this 3rd land. Yeah, so I'll just take the Misty now, and then we fetch Tundra, and we guide and we copy it. But then we are vulnerable to Fury for sure. Broadside, that's going to come in. They could even like Fury and throw it at me, but I think that'd be super greedy. But that is something that will, possibly happen next turn. So, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and guide, and I've got backup Mockingbirds. We can force like a Chalice or a Fable or anything that would put material into play. We're just totally stone dead to Fury, and we just need to accept that. Fury is most certainly a 4X post board. Like if it's not already, it probably already is. Oh, I played the wrong freaking card. Oh no, I was supposed to play the Guided Souls. Oh no. This is so bad. I'm sorry, my excellent friends. I can't believe I'm punting. Like I think I've played pretty tight until now. This is the first real punt of the league that I'm conscious of. But that was just some I was thinking about something else. I can't really explain it. I took my eye off the ball. So technically we double block this if they just go straight to combat, but they're not going to go straight to combat. If they try to one ring here, I can just force that and then they can't attack because I can just double block. Pyrogoyf. That does it, man. Oh my goodness. Such a devastating sequence. So it's not a lot of damage, but it does allow them to attack. And then if they want, they can throw at the other one. I think we can raise Pyrogoyf if that's what they're going to do. But they have it to throw next turn. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is such a punt. Such an epic punt. Like, because we could gain a life off Guide of Souls. Oh, you know what? We can still do it. Okay, check this out. So we are going off Force Negation. We just have to accept it. Tundra. I'm going to go ahead and play Guide of Souls. I'm going to mock Guide of Souls. I'm going to play this other Ocelot Pride. We're going to get a ton of cats. And our opponent's going to have Fury if they want to have a prayer here. Because we're going to gain a bunch of life. Oh, I can fly. I can fly and gave him even more life. Yes, this is so sweet. I didn't think about that. I love this deck. I'm sorry, but like this deck is so awesome. Like, if you're up against like Delver or really anything that like cares about life total and stuff, it's so daunting. Okay, we're getting more life. We got lots of energy for next turn. I don't know how they win anymore. Yeah, the one ring is the one thing that they could do. They would buy them time, but we're going to gain life just by playing this Giver runes. They have to like Fury and kill both of these. They could another Pyrogoyf and kill both of these too. But we do have an aerial attacker here. Fiery Confluence. 3 damage to each creature. Okay, that kills your broadside. It does kill my stuff. Okay, I mean, that's how you do it. I didn't know that was in their deck. That's good. They're going to be able to create a construct next turn. We're very low on material. I'm just going to play these both out. Yeah, I'm going to play them both out. That way I have Force Negation subsequent turns. We can always like block, activate, save the other one. I don't think this is a great position to be in. We also can get pro colorless. I think we can maybe buy some time with this. It's not great. They don't have a lot of targeted removal in their deck. They are going to go ahead and create a dude, which is good because that means we're not going to get one ring this turn. And next turn, we will potentially be able to do something. They could get a Pithing Needle, but I don't imagine that's in their deck. Most likely they're just getting like something that hits our graveyard and draws a card. Yeah, Lava Spur. They've got to do a lot of damage here. They don't have any more mana. There's the Fury evoked. I think we just lost, but I'm going to play it out. Like, I don't know how we draw out of this, but if we did draw like just another Guide of Souls and then a Pride, we might be able to dig out because we have so much life. They've got nothing going on over there. So we'll take 4 here. But we can take 4 several turns in a row. Next turn, we're going to be taking 7. So we're on like a 2-turn clock, basically. If we had one more mana, we could freaking copy this. How insane would that be? I just need to hang back. It's possible that like we do get a turn. If we draw a land, then I could mock this and kill this. And then just stonewall this. But they would be able to Lava Spur. Yeah, I can't stop this. Okay, they just had City. So we're going to take 7 here. We have 2 more turns to survive, technically. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good. I'm just going to chill and see what they cast before combat, but I am going to be pyroing that. Or plowing that, rather. Right, they're coming in. Let's go ahead and do this. It's gone. We take 2. We have 7 life. We're fine. We're on a 2-turn clock, actually, because they can equip this. No, it's technically a 3-turn clock. Let's see what their last thing is. Oh, it's just equipping. I think they probably have a land in hand. No? Oh, that's really freaking good. And I had to go off force. Yeah, I think we're dead. I can copy their dude that generates clues. And yeah. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, I can still copy it. The ward doesn't stop the Mockingbird effect. They get this. They get the yeah, I can't bounce it and pay the ward, unfortunately. This is more threatening than this. Yeah, I wait till beginning of combat and then I can do it. And they don't know what's going to happen. I'll do that. And then, I mean, I would love to copy this, believe me. But I do want to get it out of this turn cycle before they get so they don't know what's going to happen. They could discard here if they want. They probably will. Because there's a good chance they drew like a land or something. And if they, for some reason, okay, they're playing correctly and just going to combat before they do anything. All right, so they'll attack us for 2. We still have Force Negation if they have the One Ring, but it does mean we have to let go of our Mockingbird. If we just found another Guide of Souls and we immediately mocked it, I think we can dig out of this. I think there's just, yeah, that's fine. I don't know what their last card in hand is. They are going to be able to start copying stuff next turn. It's scary. Does Tommy do anything here? I don't think she's good enough. If we play this out, this doesn't do anything either, though. I think Tommy's better. So I'll play her out, and then we're just going to have to hope. Like, we force, pitching Mockingbird. Like, copying this does nothing. It's just like a one will not copy anything. Next turn, we will get a clue. Okay, so this means that they can start copying, which means that we're super dead. Yeah, I can't stop that. Yeah, sadly, I do think we have to just chump now. And that means we have nothing going on. I mean, if we found... See, I don't think there's any live draws now. Like another Brazen Borrower or a Pyroblast on this. Maybe we need a chump. We could play this out and chump. Yeah, it's not looking good for our hero. Our hero being us. Oh, they have a Pyroblast too. I mean, I can technically counter that, but off of the deck, I do have to counter this or I'm dead. I'll go ahead and just play it out. I'm not going to have those in my deck post-combat. Or game 3. I'm going to take those out and just keep Daze in. Daze would have been pretty good in this game, but we were on the draw and it's not correct. So if we copy this, it doesn't matter. Yeah, we're dead. All right. I do like our position against this deck. They had to have Fury to stop us. I'm going to take out Null Rod. I'm also going to take out the Force Negations. Like, they're good, but they're not great. Bring in these. I think we maybe do bring in Tomio. I want all 4 of Dazes in. So I have to make 2 cuts. I mean, Mockingbird is pretty weak against their deck because there's not a lot we want to copy over on their side, but it is like a blue card. Giver runes. Maybe it's Giver that we cut. Yeah, I think it's Giver. I mean, I would love to have it in, but they don't have a lot of instant. They did have the Pyro, but that's the only instant speed interaction they have is Pyro probably. They don't have like Dead Gone. Not that I saw. This is a great hand. I'm going to keep this. So we just island, and then we can kick it and counter their stuff while they, potentially invest heavily in casting these spells. The thing about their deck is they are using like a lot of cards just to get their spells out early on. Later, they have the mana to cast things. So a Hydroblast is often a 2-for-1 or even a 3-for-1. So what I'll do is I'll probably just island, hold up Pyro, and then subsequent turn I can ponder and potentially waste. We'll see what happens. If they completely spin their hand turn 1, then I may not need to hold up the other Hydro, but I probably should and just waste their first land. This game is dramatically different on the play than it is on the draw. Like, their deck basically never wants to be on the draw, which is true for most decks, but it's much more true for their deck. Okay, and that's just a, yeah. So I'll just take a natural draw because I would like to get another land. And I don't want to reduce the number of lands in my deck. I'm going to go ahead and waste here, and then I am going to deploy this just to get the clock going. I have a force, and I don't think they're likely to put out like a force protected. Yeah, because I get this out and I start creating cats and I start pulling away. If they have Fury plus like a Blood Moon, like that sort of sequence would be pretty devastating, but that would cost them a lot of mana. Okay, they're just passing. This is great for me. All right, I'm going to go ahead and attack just to proc this. I don't think there's any benefit to pondering before attacks. And then I'm just going to desperately dig for Basic Island. I think there's a good chance that the land that they play next is a mountain, so I don't want to waste this. That is so insane. I kind of want to take the Basic Island and just not crack unless I need to, because both of these cards are insane against them. I do want to make my land drop, though. So I'll just play this out and I'll pass. We'll get a dude. So if we can force instead of Hydroblast, that's very good here. Like if they cast a creature or something, like a One Ring or something that we can only force. So this is the turn for them to cast One Ring where I don't mind. 2 mana. Oh, they may be doing it. They may be doing it. Yeah, and this is the fastest force of my life. Even if they have like the monkey into blast. All right. I think we just won. Because we're going to have so many of these hydroblasts up, and they had to like legend roll their land to do that. Let's attack for 2, get another dude, and we'll just chill with double hydroblast up and plow. And this is like what you get when you play a Stompy deck. Like, this is the dark side of playing even a monocolor Stompy. And this is why you shouldn't play 2-color Stompy decks generally. Is you get into these situations where you just don't have enough colored mana. You get these lumpy hands with lots of city traders that you're having to like, you definitely want that to be like the last card you play. Yeah. Okay. And we're actually drawing a really good card. So I'm just going to draw that instead of cracking this. And then we'll mock this, and then we'll have like overwhelming force on the board. If they Fury here, I can just pyro it. Urza Saga is fine. I'm not worried about that. That does cost them their city. Now they're producing 1 mana per turn. A Hydroblast. I don't see how they win. I think they probably scoop here. Okay, they're not scooping. Your opponent never owes you a concession, as Bosch and Roll frequently says. And I frequently have to remind myself, like, yeah, like their situation could look utterly hopeless, but it's totally their right to play it out. I'm always like, is that concession lag, or is that just like sometimes does, just because it's 20-year-old software. We're not City's Blessing yet, but we're very close. Next turn we'll get it. This land is going to go away, sadly for them. This has just been a disaster of a game 3 for them. Yeah. Good games. Grinder A. Man, that was another 4-1. Like, this deck is great. We lost an upset loss. I really want a trophy again. I really want a trophy again. I think I'm going to try again. Am I going to try again in this league? Like in the same video? My wife went to do yoga. I'm not taking the kids to basketball for a little while. I'm going to try again. I'm having so much fun with this. So we're just jumping straight into the next league because the list feels tight. I don't like, this is the only card where I'm like, I don't know, but it's a 1-drop, and we did just beat Moon Stompy without the need for a we played through. They didn't have Chalice. We got lucky, but like, they're not always going to have Chalice. My reasoning is this card is so easy to cast when Guided Souls is out, and it does do something, and it's got toughness against Bowmaster and stuff. You could definitely put in something else, but like, I think it needs to be a 1-drop. That's my current thinking. My current thinking is Legacy's so fast, you just want 1-drops. Let's see if we get the trophy. All right, round 1, we're on the play against a pretty bad matchup. It's a Carnforge matchup. I don't think it's a favorable matchup by any means, but we do have Null Rods. We do have Consigns. We have sufficiently respected it. This is a Guided Souls hand. I'm going to get it down and then hope to draw or ponder into Ocelot Pride or a Mockingbird to copy it. Either one would be good. Our opponent is willing to 6. All right, our opponent has kept 6. So I'm just going to open Tundra Guide. One good thing about the double Brazen Borrower hand is if they have like a construct, like a Urza Saga construct beatdown plan, we can break that up. It is mana intensive to do so, but we're technically spending less mana than they are, but they have more mana than we do. If Giver of Runes sticks, it does... Oh, they're not on that. They're on like, most likely like Pox. This could be Critical Control. Dark Ritual. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What is this? Don't tell me it's freaking the Necrodominance. That would be annoying. Unmask. Okay. They're going to take our Ponder. Surely. If they even think there's going to be another turn. The fact that they're playing Unmask, this could just be like straight up like blue, green-black Reanimator. Therapy. Okay. If they had Therapy, why not just name Brazen Borrower and take our Ponder? Oh, they're therapying themselves. Okay, never mind. So we are dead. It's just, let's see a little bit more of our opponent's deck. Atraxa. Okay, we're not necessarily dead to Atraxa. We do have Plow in our hand. We have Brazen Borrower. Yeah, like they're going to get a bunch of cards. We can just borrow this out of play. Let's see whether they get like a Petal. Oh, man. Yeah, they're just dedicated Reanimator. They do have Petal. Shallow Grave. I think what they probably do is Petal Thoughtseize here just to take our Brazen Borrower so we can't knock this out of play. But we are We could find a plow. They do have the reload next turn, but they don't have a way to... They'd have to Thoughtseize themselves and discard something. They're actually only able to take 4 things, I think. So they can take artifact, land, sorcery, instant, creature. So they can take 5 things. Yeah, it's pretty strong Atraxa. But I think if they don't do Lotus Petal into Thoughtseize, they're making a huge mistake. Because I am going to just borrow this out. Thoughtseize, Shallow Grave, Lotus Petal, Bloodstained Mire, Archon. Oh, Shallow Grave is an instant. I didn't realize it was an instant. Yeah, okay. So we're going to lose that borrower. And now we have to ponder into a plow, which gives them a lot of life back. But they have therapy that they can flash back. They want to get the Archon in the yard. That is kind of crazy, sacking Atraxa to therapy, but that is a line they have open to them. Do we rip the nuts here? No, we rip a land. I'm going to ponder, and then I might even just like brainstorm. I mean, there's a plow and a second guide. I can only take 1 because I have to shuffle. So, to my knowledge, they don't have a way to discard yet. We're going to kill this, and then we're just going to attack for 1. And we'll pass. Wait, they still have Lotus Petal in hand. They must have had mana floating for that Thoughtseize. Best draw would be a Brainstorm to get rid of this Giver runes, which probably doesn't matter. If they just randomly like put something good in the graveyard, we could die here. Petal. So this was their draw for turn. So we have Perfect Knowledge. There's just the Petal that I accidentally dismissed. They shouldn't Shallow Grave one of our creatures. That would be dumb, but they might. I would love that. They're just going to pass, though, because they're not crazy. Come on, good card. Brainstorm. Oh, my goodness, deck. Come on. All right, well, we are going to play out this land. I'll play out the one that actually, I don't think they've seen either of these. We'll just attack for 1 and we'll pass. We could definitely die here, even though we got lucky and ripped that plow. If Archon comes in, we could potentially find another plow. We have tons of life. Petal. The scary thing is when they like Dark Ritual this out, which is also something they could do here. They have an ability to Thoughtseize themselves. They're picking themselves. Okay, so we are going to get Archon here, unfortunately. We're going to be pitching this land, which is not the worst. We're going to be sacking this. And now, Shallow Grave. It gets to attack too. Well, are we dead? We're going to take 18 damage here. This is... No, wait. We take... It's 6 plus 9. 15 damage. Yeah, this is brutal. And it's still in... No, wait. It gets exiled, right? So they're completely resetting the board. Like, I don't know what's in their hand anymore. Wait. They get 2 cards off this too. Such a powerful sequence. So going forward, the best draw in our deck is probably just another Guide of Souls. So we can start the process of rebuilding. So we take 6. Okay, and this gets exiled. But they have 2 cards in their grip. I'm not going to fetch the Thin. I'm probably going to be punished. There it is. That's the best card. Now, it's not a lot, but it is definitely the best thing we could draw here. And now, any creature we draw can potentially... They're going to Surveil again. Ay. These Surveil lands were such a freaking gift to Reanimator. That Reanimator totally did not need that. There was this sequence where, like, not only did Frog get printed when Blue-Black Reanimator was already on top, but... okay. Do you have another Reanimate effect? Frog got printed, and then they printed the Surveil lands, and then they printed... Gosh, what was the other card? The guy that... Here, I'm just kidding. I can't stand playing against this deck. My goodness. Okay, and they were about to get Gristlebrand. They had 21 life. No hope. Abandon all hope, ye who enter here. Grafdigger's Cage, get in the deck. Force Negation. I do not want to take out the plows. I'm going to take out the Givers. These don't do anything here. I'm going to take out a land. Wait, I'm on the play, so I'm not going to take out a land. It sucks but like, Plow is actually pretty decent because we gain so much life that we can sometimes tread water. But as we saw there, they just got such insane card advantage. Dates actually isn't that great against them because Yeah, they just have like tons of lands, and we're not going to disrupt their lands. I actually am going to trim a Wasteland. Like, I just don't believe that Daze is good against their deck. This does make the other card pretty bad too. There's a card that they cast, Shallow Grave, and they can cast it at instant speed, so they can do it during your turn if they want and play around Force Negation. I guess they could do it during their end step. I can't remember the text on that. The end of the turn or at the end of your... At the beginning of the next end step. So they could Shallow Grave during your end step, and then you would... Does that make me want to play Daze instead? I don't think so. Yeah, I'm just going to roll like this. It sucks to not... Like, for Daze to be bad when you're on the play, but they have swamps and stuff. It seems like they always have plenty of mana. I'm trying to remember a situation where my like non-blue-black reanimator opponent has gotten mana screwed somehow. So they may have an answer to this, but they'll have to also contend with double. What would suck is if they have like Chancellor of the Annex or something like that, then that could stop this. Next turn I'm going to double guide. They could Blood Moon me, which would suck. Like sometimes they'll play Magus in the Moon, but I haven't even seen any red in their deck. I think they're just dedicated green-black now. They may have blue. Did they have blue there? But like sometimes they'll do show and tell. So we definitely do need to draw a force stat. We're not safe. Yeah, so they're going to do a show and tell. So we'll take our force here. That's reducing the likelihood that we're going to be able to keep them on show and tell. And now Daze is actually really good. Because they're going to be casting something that costs 3 mana instead of something that costs 1. Interesting. Maybe they don't have the show and tell lined up if they're... Because I could very easily draw a blue card for force. I'm going to waste... Again, I don't have any illusions of this being good, but I will pass. They know what I drew, so they have perfect information. But they need a critical mass to get this out of play and then also do something quickly. Swamp. They could have the... Like, I think if they're playing show... Oh, that's insane. I was going to say, I think if they're playing show and tell, they're probably not playing the Witherbloom Apprentice combo. So we're going to start creating these things. These are good against Archon because I think we're pretty far ahead here, but I don't count them out. Okay, they're opting to not do anything. They may have like a Thoughtseize. Maybe they're thinking they should wait a turn. Borrower's great. I'm going to play this out because I'll eventually play it out anyway. I guess I could. This trigger goes on the stack. I think I just chill and have force up. This way, like even if they do somehow cast show and tell, I can borrow it out of play. And I'll still get to buff this next turn. Yeah, and next turn we'll get the City's Blessing. Now I need to think about, is it worth going ahead and just playing this out to guarantee we get the City's Blessing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll get 9 next turn. We're doing 3 additional damage, which makes their reanimates worse. I think I'm going to do this. It may be ill-advised, but we have a very high likelihood of drawing a blue card. Like 50+%, I believe. This gives us energy. We're doing extra damage. We're getting more material on the board. Oh, that's so good. But that does tell our opponent that we don't have... Yeah, and I think we just go ahead and put it on this so we gain more life. They're losing a ton of life here. Next turn, they're very, very dead. And we're going to gain a ton of life here because 32 life, 6 energy. So they're super duper dead. They would need show and tell right now into something phenomenal, and we could probably just attack around it. Yeah. So I do think it was probably a mistake to play this out. Like, it was totally unnecessary. It didn't change our clock. Yeah, I think I should have held it. Like, they probably had a discard effect in their hand. Okay, so now these Dazes come out completely. Wouldn't have been good there. I'll bring the Wasteland back in. I will take out the Hollow Fountain. I think I can bring these back in. Yeah, I'm going to bring these back in. Just as more. We only have 6, force effects, but I'm going to mulligan aggressively to find Grafdigger's Cage here. Like, I'm a huge fan of mulling to Grafdigger's Cage. And then using your force to protect your Grafdigger's Cage. We can't do that as much as we usually do because usually I have 8 forces and I've only got 6 here. But I could do the math. The odds of us finding a Grafdigger's Cage are low. Let's just see what the hands look like before I start crunching the numbers. I feel like we could definitely get away with like mulliganing once or twice Guided Souls into Guided Souls. This is a pretty good hand. I'm going to keep on the strength of, Brainstorm. I don't know. Like, I'm almost certainly just going to guide and then guide again. And that's pretty strong. They'll have to have a quick hand. And they have to overpower our force. And then Brazen Borrower can answer, like, if they do get a fatty out. But if that fatty is, what's his name? Then it's just the game, probably. Okay, they're going lower in resources here. Best draw on our deck is still Grafdigger's Cage, but we'll take anything. Oh, yes! Insane! Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Never in a million years would I think that would be likely. I will grab the island because one of the ways I can die here is if they Blood Moon, but I haven't seen any indication they have Magus in the Moon. Sometimes people play it. Yeah, I'm going to roll the dice. I think it's extremely unlikely they have it. If they have Magus in the Moon, actually, we will lose. Okay. But I want to be able to guide and get the game over with. And I think the odds, I think there's maybe a 2% chance that Magus is in their deck. But I think they're full on just blue-black. I don't think I've seen other colors. I might have seen did I see a Badlands in any of these? I saw Bayou. I don't think they can support 4 colors. They're Thoughtseizing me. I think we let this happen because we have the Brazen Borrower. If they get Gristlebrand out, then Brazen Borrower doesn't matter. It's not enough. But they have to do a lot to accomplish that. Wasteland would be great. Mockingbird is not terrible. So what I'm going to do, I do want to go ahead and just brainstorm because I don't need the second Guided Souls. It's not a matter of winning quickly. It's a matter of winning stably. Force is great. Okay, so I'll just put back a Guided Souls. I'll put back a land. Now I'm just going to go get another Tundra. I'm going to guide. And next turn, I can guide and potentially mock that guide. We have a very fast clock. And we're starting to gain life. I think Mockingbird is the pitch to force if it comes down to it. They have 3 mana now. Are we going to show and tell? All right, they're waiting. Wasteland. Love it. Floating black. That's fine. Okay, so it's dead. Now I don't have to worry about days, which there's 0 chance they're playing it, but what I can do is I can go like this. Then I can mock. And then I can smash them for 3 in the face. Guided Souls is so good, man. I mean, this card, what the heck? They could, in theory, if they're playing Fatal Push, but I think they're just a filthy combo deck player, and they're probably not playing any removal. Okay, that worked. All right, so we're going to come in. We hit for 3. The Entomb is fine. They're just probably going to Entomb like an Entomb or some dead draw, unless they really think that they can clear this. They don't know that I have a Force in hand, though. They did put Gristlebrand in there. So let's get their life a little lower. So that even if they somehow reanimate, which is going to be a multi-step process, what we are presenting in terms of control, that we can still... they're on a 3-turn clock, basically. Assuming I play out another creature. If I don't play out another creature, yeah, they're on a 3-turn clock. Or 4-turn clock, actually. No, 3-turn. 3-turn after this. I think I just forced this. They spent 2 cards on that. They said, bravo. What do you expect from me, dude? Too strong, my friend. Good games. Yeah. Unless you want to keep playing. If you have something else, that's fine. They're still technically... what is the term for when you're presumptuous? Yeah, because I really can't stand it when somebody says GG's, but I took that as a GG's. But yeah, good games. I don't mind playing against, I called them a filthy combo player. I just want to, that's a kind of an affectionate term. I'm not actually anti-combo. In fact, some of the most frequent opponents of mine are combo players. I think this league, I think we've had 1 non-combo deck in the 2 leagues so far. All right. We're up against a likely Jeskai control player. I think this hand's fine. It makes them have it. We play Giver Runes. Then we play Pride. And we can even mock it in the same turn cycle. Yeah, I think it's fine. We don't have a good answer to Tomio, though, if they open with... That is a big problem for our deck. beating Tomio. So far, we haven't had to play against Tomio because we've just been playing against combo players. But this is... Oh, Ponder. Okay. Yeah, and I do believe this is Jeskai. Look at that beautiful island. I love this island. This is one of my favorite island arts. So just fun. You just want to, paddle out there and like bring a cooler with you. All right. So here I am going to just give her. They have to answer this before they can answer the other cards that are going to come down. This is fine. I'm going to try to daze like a planeswalker. Something more substantial than a cantrip. They could get brainstorm locked. They mulled to 6. They're brainstorming. If they just pondered without playing anything, I probably would have actually dazed that, but I'm not going to daze a brainstorm because brainstorm, they can naturally lock themselves. Ponder is harder to do because they get that shuffle. Vista. Fetch. If they burn an interaction spell on this, I'll actually be pretty happy. Okay, now I think maybe I do daze this. Is that crazy? No, I'm going to let this go through. Okay, I'm going to just Pride, and then I'm also going to mock it. This way we have 2 of them. And when we connect, we're going to start doing a lot of cats. But like, there's only one deck really in the entire format that has sweepers in it. And it's this deck that we're playing against right now. Terrifyingly. Okay, so they could Wrath here, which would be devastating. And Giver Runes can't give protection from like non-targeted removal, like Wrath of the Skies. Thunder Trap. So I am flying over here, so I can just hit them anyway and still get the dudes. They're going to brainstorm off that. Fetching. If they have Supreme Verdict in the deck, like that's that. It's very good against us. I think at this point I do want to plow. Because I need to be able to proc. Okay. Okay. Let's think of this. I think this is a ponder turn. I want to... If I find a freaking brainstorm, I want to put back some of this land. I've got so many lands. My goodness. Let's go ahead and... I need to keep a fetch. Yeah, I'm going to ponder first and just see what I find. Like a Wasteland would be reasonable to get them off double white. I think that's good. So now they're off double white. They shouldn't be able to easily Wrath, but they could just have another one. So we get 2 dudes. We can start going wider. It's the brainstorm, I bet. And they have to have at least 3 mana to Wrath here. That's unfortunate. I could technically bounce that out of the way. Oh gosh. Tomio 2. Man, they found the goods. All right. The next card is just a Giver Runes, which is not good, but it can allow us to attack through. So now we have to think about like, okay, how long is this game going to go? If I mock again, then I can swing in next turn and proc again. I don't think I want the Giver. I could just copy their Thunder Trap. That might actually be worth doing. That also gets through. I can hold on to the strand for later. Yeah, I'm going to just copy. Let's see if we can find a plow here. Oh, we didn't find anything. What a bummer. I mean, we did have a pretty good chance of finding something. All right, well, we don't have good attacks, so we'll just chill. If they're able to flip her, it's so devastating. But we do have Brazen Borrower. My hope is that they just aggressively try to flip her and that we can borrow her back. Yeah, it looks like they're going to do that. They're going to ponder and then they're going to probably crack the clue so that they can draw. But that does mean we don't have good attacks for a turn cycle. Yep, here comes the clue crack. And if they have a forced blue card, they can stop the borrower from bouncing her out. Even if I bounce her out, they're probably going to be able to just do stuff. That's a sucky draw. Oh my goodness, what a horrific draw. I think I wait. I mean, they may just pull this back up. I think they're very likely to just keep plussing here. But like that does give them the ability to hardcast force. I think we just need to bounce this out of play again. So yeah, I'm going to play this out. I really do need a brainstorm badly. I can always play this out and just, as a interactions, like as a creature that can block her. No point in attacking here. We're still vulnerable to the same exact cards. This is basically the worst matchup. Like we're very good against combo decks, but we're very bad against exactly this deck because of Wrath of the Skies and, like just excessive volumes of Tomio and stuff. They had a plow. They thought about use it. Maybe they're worried that I have Wrath. Yeah. And if they remove this, like we have done. Like we're not going to catch up. Like it's so frustrating, but this is just you build your deck and you just assume, okay, as long as I don't hit this deck that's like 3% of the meta, I'm going to win. But when you hit that deck that's 3% of the meta, it's really frustrating because there's nothing else like it. Like it doesn't make sense to build your deck around beating this deck. I'm going to take out my plows. I'll bring in my prismatic endings because they can hit both sides of Tamio. Daze is so just terrible against them because they just have tons of basic lands. But it is worth bringing the Hydros. I think these guides are necessary. Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to try not to despair. Like, maybe it's more than 3% of the league meta because it seems like I do run into it a lot more. But I can tell you, like, at Eternal Weekend, it'll be like less than 3%. I don't want to trim a land here on the play. I could trim a force. I think, like, how do I win? I tempo them. And I do need the dazes for that. Force does help with tempo too. Maybe we just do 2 Hydros, but I think they're playing several Flame of Manure and Pyros. I think I'll trim a Giver. It's just like pretty bad against sweeper decks. I know they have like prismatic endings and plows and stuff. All right, so we did reduce our total volume of creatures. I think this has got to be... Guided Souls is our best turn 1 play, but if they just kill it, we're like totally rudderless. They have 6 ways to kill it main deck. I don't want to mulligan against their deck. I'm going to make them have it. This is a terrible hand. Like when you set up 18 land, this is why I think like so many games that came after Magic just did away with lands. The whole notion of like you're playing 18 lands, but you still have like a decent chance of getting completely flooded. But there's no way you can go lower than 18 lands without suffering severe consequences as a fair deck. Okay, it looks like they don't have it, which is great for us. All right, that's a great rip. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go ahead and play this out. And I'm going to and then I'm going to force if they try to remove this because I've got literally nothing else going on. That's what they're doing. And this will be a very short match. Oh, they're powering? Well, unfortunately, if they just counter this, then I can't counter back because I won't have any blue cards because I drew a ton of freaking lands. They could have like Blood Moon. I guess it makes sense to grab the island here. My hand is not going to be using pull ahead in cards because I'm going to be pitching. Okay, so that resolves. That's good. I mean, we're doing something here. Also, they went and got a mountain, which is not like a good land in their deck. I think they're scared of my Wasteland, which is a good thing to do. Now they probably have to get like a Tundra, and that'll be vulnerable to waste. Except they had Prismatic Vista, so yeah, they're probably just going to get a that's a good card that I can't interact. And like the crazy thing is, I've still got like a 25% chance of drawing a land, even though I'm like super lean on lands. Okay, that's great. That gets them out of the way at least, and then we crack in for 2. Is it even correct to do that? I think it is, just to keep applying the pressure. If they play a Tamio, I'll be very, very sad, but this does shut off Wizards lines where they can like Flame Manure. If they force to protect this, then I'll know that they have Flame Manure, and I'll know I'm going to try to stay positive. Again, like this matchup happens. I hope I don't come across as overly whiny. It is kind of irritating that people are still playing this deck when it's like so totally terrible against the meta, but it just happens to be very good against my exact deck. Like I guarantee you if I played the 75 they're playing, even though I consider myself to be like maybe slightly above average player, I would probably just get destroyed. I'd probably like the only matchup I would win is if I queued into like my opponent playing this. Okay, they are reducing our board, and we'll see whether we draw a spell. That's pretty good. And we have the fetch too. This is great. Please don't. So this is terrible because these cards suck against them pretty much, but they're better than these other cards that don't do a damn thing. So I'll just come in for 1, and we will continue the world's slowest beatdown while we wait to draw something really relevant. But we do have force blue card in case they try to do something dramatic. Now they have double white. That just has to happen. I'm not going to 2-for-1 myself for that. But that does put victory much farther out of reach. I think just playing out a Brazen Borrower in step is a totally... This... If I play it out, it just tells them what we're going to do. I'm going to hope that they fetch a non-basic here. I mean, I can keep them off Surveil, but I feel like they're just going to go get another Plains here. And I do want to actually waste them. And I just want to be clear. Like, I think this deck is poorly built. Like the Jeskai deck is terrible right now because I don't think you should play 3-color decks that are like basic heavy. It's just a recipe for disaster, but I'm not in a position to punish and showcase just how bad that option that my opponent has chosen to pursue is. So I can totally understand, like, oh man, Jeskai's awesome. I should play Jeskai. You shouldn't play Jeskai. Jeskai sucks. But we are going to get our butts kicked by Jeskai. Okay, so I will definitely waste that. I guess I just... I'm going to go ahead and come in for a hug here. This does allow them to attack, but I can put in the other borrower and potentially block. They're not going to be blocking this. So I think we just upkeep this. They could Flame Manure. It's an instant. It's upon cast. But if I waste here, then they can just go get, like, I don't want them to get a Surveillant. But they might just get a basic out of respect for the fact. Okay, they don't surveil. So I definitely think it's an option that we just put this in, but I also think it's quite likely that they may have a Brainstorm. They haven't cast one yet. They may also have removal for this. I'm just going to do this. I understand if this looks dumb and they just remove it. But if I can get a free lunch here, yeah, they just remove it. That's fine. Okay. That's going to happen anyway. So they get their clue. And now they just draw the card. Okay. So they're not flipping. Do they have Ponder? No. Okay. So I do get to hit them again. I'm reducing their life total. I think the odds of successfully dazing them are low, but this is a card I can pitch to force. I'm not going to hold this back. I'm just going to keep hitting their life total. When they flip her, then I will have to divert all my attention to dealing with her, but it may be a few turn cycles before they're able to flip her. If they clue and then like cast Flame, then I can daze it. But they do play a lot of like blasts and stuff. I'm loath to 2-for-1 myself here, but it probably needs to happen here. Okay, that's the first. Okay, now do something. Come on. And I promise I have 4 Tamios in my deck too. This is the second one that flips her. I mean, what am I supposed to do here? What am I supposed to do? It completely blunts my offensive. They probably have a blast. I think I do have to fight here because, like, yeah, I think it'd be a mistake not to fight here, even though they're definitely going to have the blast. I'm hellbent. There's no reason not to interact. If you can interact, just do it. Put me out of my misery. Good game. I don't want to play against this flipped card. I understand that I'm playing it too, but I'm only playing it out of necessity. I can't stand Tomio. Okay. So you might argue, oh, but there was still a game to be played. You could have drawn the other Brazen Bar or whatever. Like, they're so far ahead. They've already cracked like 4 clues. I don't think we had a chance. Round 3, we are 1-1 after losing to Jeskai Control, which is like a 5% matchup. I don't know. It's like a really atrocious matchup for really any tempo deck. But it's great if you're a combo deck. You can just completely... And that's half the meta. So I don't know why people are playing Jeskai Control. Anyway, they're likely Oops All spells. This hand, I mean, they played Oops twice. Most recently, like a few days ago. Like a week ago. I think I'm going to keep this. If they're on Oops, like, it's not like Force is going to save us anyway. We'll find out what they're on. I think the play is just... I mean, we could Island Ponder, try to hit a Force. We could also just jam, give her runes. I think what we do is we guide, and then next turn we can guide, or we can mock guide and waste them if they don't combo us. We're on the play, so we don't get to see them mold a 5 or 4 like a typical Oops player would. So we don't know that they're on Oops. They did mull. If they mull again, I'm probably going to actually just mold the... yeah, I think I need a Ponder to try to find a Force now. Or Daze. I don't think Daze will be enough, but... Main issue is main deck, we don't have any answer to what they're trying to do here. But post board, we do have Grafdigger's Cage. Tundra Ponder. I'm going to shuffle this. Looking for stack interaction. Not finding it. Okay, I think we're dead. If they take a turn to set up, that'll be great. If they like take a turn to Thoughtseize us, it's meaningless. Dark Ritual. Okay, do they have the thing to exile? They already exiled, so we're going to get to see their deck at least. I don't know why people play this deck. It just doesn't make any sense. It's not a very good deck, is the thing. People complain about it a lot, but and we might lose to it, but we're losing to it right now, this game. Okay, so let's take a look at their variation. that they're playing. So I see Pact of Negation, Duruses, Thoughtseize. So a lot of stack interaction. I do not see the combo, the backup combo. How many Cabal Therapies are they playing? Actually, am I crazy? I don't see any Cabal Therapies. I wish I could. Yeah, I don't think they have Cabal Therapy. So I'm just going to let them go on about their thing. They get Dread Return. I don't, but we'll see shortly. But am I correct that I don't see the other Graveyard dude either? This is like a really old version of Oops that they're playing. This is like, okay, they do have a Cabal Therapy. Well, I'm going to concede now. Yeah, they were targeting me. I assume Dread Returns in their graveyard somewhere. It's just so difficult to find it. Yeah, they didn't actually. No, they did. They didn't. Okay, I was like gaslighting myself. Like I was like, wait, I unnecessarily scooped. No, that was correct to scoop. So we're gonna go ahead and put our those in. We'll put Grafdigger's Cage. If we put this in, they're on Petals. They may be on that other thing. Cards we don't care about. I'm taking out the Plows. I don't care if they try to do like the creature juke. We can gain life faster than they can kill us. We don't need Giver runes, that's for sure. Which means we can probably bring in a Consign. Or, yeah, I think Consign's better. Because it stops the trigger if they don't destroy our hand. Which, I didn't see any Cabal Therapies, but I guess there was one in there. Which means there's probably not two. Flying by the seat of our pants here. Yeah, Null Rod. I don't know. I don't know what juke they're going to do. I hope they do a creature juke. So we have to mull really into Oblivion to find a Grafdigger's Cage. And then it just comes down to whether we can... Okay, well, we don't have to mull into Oblivion. That was super lucky, by the way. The odds of having, when you have a 3 of, it's only like 31.5%. It goes up to 39.9% if you have 4, which is a big jump. But I didn't want to allocate even more sideboard because you only want to play 3 against Blue-Black, which is, like I'm actually really surprised we haven't faced Blue-Black Reanimator this league. Maybe all the Blue-Black Reanimator players are stuck in the challenge waiting for the next round to start. I will play some challenges. I know people might be like, why do you always just play leagues? Like, I like actually playing Magic and not waiting around in between rounds. But I will play some challenges just to prove that this deck is good and that I'm, not just like farming scrubs and challenges because that's not how, or in leagues, because that's not how leagues work. Leagues are usually filled with very strong players. I don't have to let them see my hand here. I don't think it helps to let them see my hand. I'm going to do this. And then I can waste them next turn. They could exile a thing. Yeah, they don't. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just waste them. Tomio is great. Do I want to play Tomio instead of wasting them? I think I... Now we have something proactive. We're going up clues. Hopefully they go all in on something else that I can stop with this. Chrome Mox. I think I probably do want to bring Null Rod in. Because they have Petal and Chrome Mox. Which I'm not sure that Oops always does this. Okay, Beseech. Let's stop that. No thank you. And now they've used like basically everything. So I can just waste them and there'll be 0 permanence while I'm taking up my Tommy. That's a good rip. That does show them kind of like what our deck does. They may scoop just now. So, I mean, the game was not over there, which shows me that they're a relatively impatient player. I think there's a decent chance that they're playing, but I'm a relatively impatient player too, I guess. It tells me that we don't need a win con. Okay, so I'll bring these in. I think Consign with the number of things, it might make sense. Just more blue cards. Check these out. I mean, I don't think they're on a creature juke. I don't think they're going to juke into creatures. They juked into having more combo stuff because they didn't have the Beseeches in their first round. I don't think. I guess we do it this way. Yeah, I'm gonna try it this way. I think what they were doing was they were going to go get Charbelcher. I could have waited to see, but it's dangerous to do so. This is a mulligan. Hopefully they mulligan into Oblivion alongside me, but a lot of times they just keep 7, and it's terrifying, and that's what they're doing. This is double force hand. I think we keep this double force hand, sadly. I don't think this is a good thing. I'm going to put the Tundra away. I'll keep the Wasteland. Yeah. I don't, because the odds of us finding are only 35 per hand, and then we also have to have a force to protect. Okay, this is just going to be a Thoughtseize, and that's fine. They will work through these, but I'm going to waste them. They could actually take the Force of Will if they have the creature, because Force Negation can't stop it. And they can Cabal Therapy me before they Dread Return. I think we lost this one. Call me a coward for not mulling deeper. I'm not well equipped to be able to win this matchup. They have 5 cards in hand. I think the players will go ahead and just waste them. It's a stable source of mana. Like maybe they have like petals and other stuff they're using here. They don't play anything. Okay, so I'm definitely happy with my decision there. Force, great draw. I'm going to go ahead and ponder. We're going to try to find a Tomio to start burying them. Grafdigger's Cage, of course, is the best draw. I think this is fine. I do want that second land. I mean, if they thought these, I actually might want the Brainstorm. I'll take the land in the hand. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take another blue card, and then we're going to ponder. So we'll have a replacement blue card, so we'll still have double force. Okay, wow. They don't have land. This is great for us. But they do have 7 cards in hand, so it's not like they may just be saving up for a big bursty turn. I know that one of the cards is a ponder. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and ponder. Like, my hand is great. I'm not going to put this back. But I do want to find Grafdigger's Cage. Mockingbird, this is not good enough, in my humble opinion. I'm going to any order shuffle this, and I'll probably be punished, but if I find Grafdigger's Cage, it's great. Okay, and I'm not going to move. I've already played my land for turn, so we're just going to chill. Okay, they are going to have to go to discard here. Okay, Beseech, that's great. Okay, Grafdigger's Cage dramatically simplifies it. Things, I think we just play it, and I could go ahead and Brainstorm first. Okay, that's fine. So I'll put back, well, Mockingbird's almost certainly going to be my pitch to force. I'll just stack it like this because I'm going to draw through these. Double force. I'm feeling pretty good. Next turn, we can just start casting out Brazen Borrowers and beating them with those. They're at 15 already. Yeah, they've been another Beseech. There's no reason to do it right now. I'll just wait. I can't imagine my opponent's having any fun is the thing. Like, this doesn't seem like a fun deck to play. Everybody has hate cards for your deck. And you play so little Magic. And if you take that deck to a paper tournament, you better believe you're going to be sitting around watching the Jeskai players dirtle against one another. Let's come in. I'll just chill. I've got another Brazen Borrower. We're 2 turn clocking them. It would be a miracle for them to get out of this. Because sometimes when I'm like waiting for my opponent to decide, their lines, I'll just imagine like, what if I were playing and I could choose the cards in my hand. I think it's probably fine to just, I'm trying to think of what they could have. We have double force. They could have like Cabal Therapy or something here. I know that they're probably not going to have a second source of blue. I'm going to go ahead and do this. This could kill me. They need a lot of stuff. No. I'm going to force pitching Brazen Borrower because we're not going to need that. They've already it doesn't change the clock to play it out. It changes it by 1 turn. I'll force pitching Mockingbird. And now we can waste that. I'm going to go ahead and play this out. It does change the clock slightly. Like it's 1 less turn that they get. And then I'll just waste them during their upkeep or during my turn. Okay, that's a great draw. All right, and they can't even shock in a land anymore. Can't imagine how they could win from here. Petal. Dark Ritual. I could force this. I'm going to let it resolve. It's a lot of mana. 2 cards left in hand. They could have Pact, but they need 1 more mana to kill us with... they just scooped. We're 2-1. All right, we're up against TonyScapone. All right, well, my hand is insane against TonyScapone, so I'm keeping this. He has mulled to 6. We have double force, double blue card. I wish we had 1 fewer land, but I almost always wish we had exactly 2 lands in this deck. The only time you want more than 2 lands is when you're up against tempo. He thought about doing something, but then he decided not to. Okay, he's Dark Ritualing. I mean, he knows that I know that he's going to have stuff. I'll let him take one of these. All right, he discards the Ponder. There's the LED. That's fine. Infernal Tutor. Well, I am highly incentivized to counter that because that represents literally anything in his deck. So I will. Let's just pitch Daze. Okay. Sick art on this card, by the way. Kev Walker. Really solid artist. A lot of like horror themed art. Please don't give me... Oh, man. I really needed something good there. All right. I'm just going to play this out. I may fetch the Thin, as pathetic as that is, just because I have nothing going on. He doesn't either, but if he draws like an Ancient Tomb or many cards he could draw that like suddenly turn this into a pretty threatening card. But of course, like our 18 land deck continues to give us land after land. That's just statistics. I'm complaining about the nature of the universe. I did decide to keep a 3-card hand with, yeah, he's going to have a third line if he wants all of that. Oh my goodness. I think I am going to fetch the Thin. I think this is pathetic, but it's true. I cannot draw another land. It will be devastating if I draw another land. Oh my goodness. Drew another land anyway. What the heck, deck? I actually, yeah, I'm going to kill this. Like, they can make a construct if they want. Yeah, they're going to make a construct. Like, sadly, that might actually be good. I might actually die to this thing if my deck just continues to give me bricks. So that was a 2-for-1, essentially. What they did. We still, even with all the lands we've drawn, we still have, I think, like a 23% chance of drawing a land here. They're keeping a card in hand. Come on, Brainstorm. Okay, I'll take that. It doesn't work very well because of this, but better than nothing. I'm going to play this out. I'm going to just assume that we're eventually going to be able to Brainstorm. They can't attack anymore because if we start attacking, then they start falling behind. Okay, Mox. So they must have something they're doing here. Oh, it's just making it bigger. Fine. That was a dark ritual. Okay. All right. Well, I can't do anything here. I'm not going to fetch the thing now because Brainstorm's live. Giver Runes. That does give protection from colorless, doesn't it? All right. We'll just chill. And next turn we can attack and through. Like, this deck does feel really pathetic when it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. If Delver doesn't usually feel this bad. That is one, like, even though this deck farms Delver, Delver doesn't get in totally feel bad situations like we're in right now. Okay, another Urza Saga. That's a pretty good draw for them. I'm just going to start making cats while I can. Come on, give me a freaking Brainstorm. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's so freaking huge. All right, I'm going to go ahead and see what I can find off this. Probably just be like 3 lands. Man, am I turning into like Gilbert Godfrey or something? Like, what Rodney Dangerfield? Some like I never get any respect from my deck. I don't want to be a whiner, a complainer. Come on, I want to be excellent. Tony may be multi-queuing. He's giving me like really long waits at odd times. Okay, this is spectacular. Okay, so we're gonna put these back. Yeah, we got super lucky there. I'm just gonna play the guide, and I am gonna attack in, and then next turn I can borrow that out. This pro colorless. We hadn't gained life yet, so that was important too. Okay, now we gain some life. Yeah, I feel like that Brainstorm gave us the goods, 100%. And I can just force pitch Brainstorm. Like they do have to, like, unless they have another land, they do have to use their LED. Okay, that's good. Actually, if I go after that, that represents 2 tokens, 2 constructs. I think I'm going to let it go though. Yeah, they're going to go ahead and come in. I'll just take it. I don't care. Like, I know it's getting closer to Tendrils, but I'm not that worried about it with Force. I think my client might be getting slower too. I want to put a huge stack of cats on the table to like completely crash my client. They're thinking about making another dude just to get an extra damage in. Sure. And then what I'll do is I'll just bounce that out of play and then come in for even more damage here. Mockingbird. Holy cow. Is Mockingbird the play here? Because if you think about it, like, we get lots. Let's see. So Mockingbird comes in, and then that's 1. Mockingbird copies Ocelot Pride. Alternatively, I could just bounce this out of play. I do think we want to bounce it out of play just so we can... Then we can block here, unless they have Shadow Spear, which they're not going to have. I think I'm just going to play a little slower here. Because, let's see. Then we have 7, then we go 8, 9. We're still not going to get the City's Blessing. Yeah, I'm just going to... And now we can just attack like this. And then I'll hold this back. And then what I can do is I can block and then give pro with the other cat. Okay. And it's worth noting they could get Pithy Needle, but I can't imagine that's in their 75. It might be. They're going to make a dude. Okay, Candy Trail. They get this Cry 2. They can gain some life. Vault. This is getting big. They don't have good attacks, though. So, I think here... actually, we can just fly. I'm going to mock this. Because we'll get a ton of cats. And that's more important than being, like... Hit them fast. Because they're, like, hellbent, basically. Okay, we go up to 18. And now... Ocelot Pride, trigger... We should get the City's Blessing now, I believe. And now we get even more life. Yeah, we're in a very good position. There's no way they're going to attack through this. They don't have... Even if they had something that gave it trample, it's not going to be enough. Yeah, I mean, that's... They're welcome to keep trying, but we're going to gain so many more... Okay, they're drawing a card, gaining some life. They still don't have good attacks. Okay. Now I'll just go in and attack, and I'll attack like this... to this one. These are all flying. I guess I don't understand how they win from here, but I'm going to let them try. I'll let them Duras. They have one card left in their hand. Okay, they scooped. Right. So Plows come out. No Rod comes in. Consign comes in. I assume they're playing red. I'm going to take out the Ocelot Pride. They just got like a weird draw where they got like 3 of their things. Guided Souls is much better. Oh, and Giver of Runes comes out. So that means we can bring in these. I think Prismatic Ending is better than... Prismatic Ending is probably playable. It could be but we've got 4 Brazen Borrowers. I think that's probably enough in case they do get a lot of those. Okay, so we're on the draw. This is not a force. I mean, this is an easy mulligan in my opinion. It's just not disruptive enough. We need to assume they're going to go turn 1. They're not going to want to play out a long game against us. They know that they're, or they probably, oh, this is really freaking good, but there's no land. I think this has some mull. They're keeping 7. Yeah, I'm going to mull. Come on, deck. All right. Yeah, that's got to be the keep. It sucks. All right, so let's put back everything but Tomio. I think Borrower's better than Hydro, but it's probably not going to matter because we're probably going to have to force negate immediately. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Yeah, we're almost certainly going to lose this game, but that's okay. I do think we have a decent chance of winning game 3. All right, and I just realized, I think, did my opponent play... like a black land, artifact land, the Vault of Whispers. If they did, then they're probably on Black Saga Storm and not Epic Gamble, which is what they were in on previously, which makes a lot more sense while they're playing the way they are, which also means my Hydroblasts are dead. Well, the decks are very similar. I think a lot of Storm archetypes have converged around Urza Saga. Candy Trail. It's such a silly card. I love it. From the Fairy Tale set. Hopefully we'll get another one of those. Some really good cards came out of this set. Like Beanstalk, of course. The top 2. Oh no, we're dead. We're dead, fam. My excellent friends. Let's go ahead and do this because why not? So I'll definitely be pitching the Mockingbird to force. Yeah, there's the Vault. They're on Mono Black Saga Storm. I'll let them take whatever they want. Unfortunately, they're probably going to take my Brazen Borrower because they know that answers one of the constructs. They can create these massive constructs that I can't really interact with. I really wish they would print one of these in non-foil on paper, but they're only foil ones. Sorry, that's just an aside. I was thinking about that earlier. Like, come on, Wizards. Why do you print cards in foil? Because they printed Giver Runes in foil, but it's... Ooh. That's very good. I'm going to definitely waste that. Yeah, I mean, there's like a temptation to just waste this because this is going to go away. Yeah, actually, I think I do. Like, it depends on How important is stable mana versus them getting a... Like, if they want to... If they want to destroy my hand here, I'm totally fine with that. Like, I would love for them to go get LED and wheel us. Here, my hand is garbage. Okay, Opal. LED. You know you want to give me a fresh 7 and shuffle this Force Negation back into my deck. LED. Uh-oh. They may have like a powerful storm play where we die. It's a lot of storm. Of course, MTGO characteristically not showing it. Okay, Necrodominus. I don't think we're dead. We might be dead. It's less reliable. They have to like... So I think they can put the trigger on the stack and then they sacrifice the LEDs. I think that's how this works. I've never seen this in Mono Black Saga Storm. But I am going to take the Hydroblast out of my deck. They have like usually a single red spell in their entire deck. So it's unlikely to line up. Okay, they just are drawing... They're doing a value Necrodominance. And they'll have to discard one of these. And they don't get any normal, like, natural draws anymore. So if I can get like an aggressive creature out, it's really good. But the most aggressive creature in my deck right now is the Guided Souls, which only hits for 1, and he hits it 2 turns from now. Okay, come on, Guided Souls. Oh, Wasteland. Actually does nothing. I mean, it cracks a clue. We can bounce this back to hand. I actually think that's probably worth doing. Yeah, what they can do is they could discard their hand. Should I do it now? I think I do it now because they can't cast. And I don't want to add to their storm. Oh, wait. I'll just do it in their draw step. After they've drawn. It doesn't really matter when I do it, but that way they don't get the card. Wait, it didn't... Why didn't it stop? Why didn't it stop in the draw step? That doesn't make any sense. I guess now I have to do this like in their second main when they can replay it. Because the trigger will go on the stack whether I bounce it or not. They know about the Brazen Borrower. It's so weird how I put the stop in the draw step and it didn't stop them. Maybe I screwed something up. Okay, I think they're just cracking their candy trail. Oh. I think this has to be force. I think I'm going to go ahead and try to find a force here. Because I'm going to see if I can find a force. No. Okay, I think we're dead. Because they can sack, discard their hand, activate it, go get like probably a lot of different stuff. I'm at 20 life, so they do need a long chain, but they should be able to go get like a Beseech the Queen or whatever. Not Beseech the Queen, that's a different card. Beseech the Mirror. And then I think from there they can probably go get... I'm not sure what they would get. Probably something just like the graveyard one. So they can play all their stuff in their graveyard. Thoughtseize Me again. Urza Saga. They may have something better to do than that. They undid it. That's crazy. I've never seen somebody undo like 4 game actions in a row, but I guess they were all mana actions. So their hand is Cabal Therapy, Infernal Tutor. At least we know that. Tony is an incredibly strong player, but these decks he plays are so hard to play that even he can't necessarily always perfectly play. And I mean, he just hammers a lot of information there. Okay. So, oh yeah, these are exiled. All right. So this is happening. We're going to see how dead we are here. I don't know what he gets. He can't Beseech. What does this do? Does he have enough storm? I don't think he has enough storm. Beseech again. I really wish he would show the damn storm count. I have no idea what the storm is. They can Beseech again. When this goes to the graveyard, you gain 2 life? No, you have to activate it. Guys will. Okay. And now, they replay that. They play that. Okay, storm count is now showing. Dark Ritual. He must have counted this. He took a long time. Thoughtseize. Okay, that's more storm. He needs one more spell. Oh, Beseech goes against storm. Goes against it. I will make sure that he has the Tendrils in his deck, and then I will concede. Yeah, that was a pretty cool line. I knew I had to force this. I wasn't wrong. I don't think... Yeah, I mean, he had more stuff to sack. I think Brazen Borrowing or something like that wouldn't have been a winning line either. Okay, so now we can adjust our deck. Like, Null Rod is even better than normal here. But Hydroblast sucks, so we'll take that out. I think here, Prismatic Ending is probably pretty good. But is it better than just killing them quickly? I don't know that it is. I think I'm going to put 3 of these back in. We could go down to Tamio because she is bad with Null Rod, and our plan is to get Null Rod on the table as soon as possible. I think I'm going to do that. We still have plenty of blue cards. I haven't played against this deck very much. Tony's the main person who plays it. Some other people played it like back in the day. I think a lot of people switched over to like other Storm archetypes. I don't think there's a keep because they could just explode and we don't do anything. Let's find a Null Rod. There we go. There we go. So I'll put back a guide. We definitely need to be able to brainstorm into a second land. I think if we get Null Rod out, it shuts off like basically their entire deck. I think we don't need to go quickly and kill them. If they thought these, I could just hide both Null Rods on top. I don't think that's correct. I don't want to pull a land out of my deck. I want to max the likelihood that I draw a land here. So I think if they Thoughtseize me, I just let it happen. The odds of us getting a double Null Rod hand were very low. Okay, yeah, the odds of us getting... it was like 1%, basically 1.19% that we would get both of these. Yeah, if you hear my daughter crying in the background, I think like my wife's doing something like giving her some medicine she doesn't want her. So I don't want you to think that we come from like a abusive household or anything like that. I don't know if it's actually audible, but she's a little drama queen sometimes. So is my son. Okay. I mean, like shutting all this off would be really fun. They still haven't played their land for turn. I'm hoping it's the vault. Yep, you got a lot of stuff out there. I mean, surely you're not going to glass cannon me, right? What is this? I will pitch the borrower because I need the brainstorm to find the other land in case I don't organically draw it, which is unlikely. I'm actually really worried because like there's a possibility that I'm dead before I can get this Null Rod out. They need to just print Null Rod at 1 mana. That's how they can get around the reserve list restriction. Just wholesale out mode it. I don't know what they could do from here. Like they could have like that other card. What I'm going to do here. And now, come on, give me land. Oh yeah. Let's shock that in. Thunder here. And this should lock out like their entire deck basically. Considering they have 0 lands. I'm sure they have answers for this. But it'll take them a while to draw to it. I don't have anything going on. Got the GGs. It's not every video where you see me beat Tony twice on 2 different decks. I'm very proud of this. He's a hero of mine. All right, so we're doing fantastic except for against Jeskai. And I think the previous round, what did we lose to? But it was like something that we, I can't remember. Oh, it was just like ad nauseam tendrils. Like, yeah. We have been playing against a lot of storm type stuff. Final round of this video. I apologize to Delthar last time. It wasn't my finest moment. I was just really whining about the One Ring and stuff. And they are on the One Ring deck, but I'm gonna put on my big boy pants to try not to whine too hard. Yeah, when you play online, like can't be on top all the time. It's ironic that he says can't be on top all the time, and he's frequently the trophy leader. All right, so I am going to mulligan this hand. We are on the play. This hand is guided. I mean, Plow is so dead against their deck. I think I just guide. I think I give her, and then I guide in that mock. That way I can protect in case they have the K command. I don't know. We know we're going to put this back. We don't actually know we're going to draw a second land. I think what I'm going to do is I'm not going to mull deeper. I'm just going to hope that I rip a land. So I'll put back the Plow. So they're on like the 12 post, like the blue version. That's what they've been playing lately, which is extremely strong and extremely annoying to play against. It's basically all the cards I dislike the most in the same deck. So I am going to go ahead and just... The most aggressive opening is Guidus Holes, and then even if I don't find something, I can mock it, and then I can play this out the subsequent turn. Okay, Cloudpost. Okay, so here, I mean, this Tamio is just way too slow, unfortunately. I think I need to ponder and find a land. I don't want to just chill without like making a land drop. Okay, this is great. So we'll just take one of these lands. Okay, and now I'm just going to grab another Tundra, and I'm going to mock this, and then I'll attack. And we can do this because they don't yet have K command on. And now we're at least going to get some energy triggers. So that's just one energy trigger, but next turn we play any of these, and we get an energy trigger. Which may not matter if they have the One Ring out. Because this represents 3 mana now. Chalice for 1. That's not the death sentence that it could have been. Because we do have Brazen Borrow, but it does slow our roll a lot. Ugh. So what we need to do, we just attack for 2. Wait to the end step. We Borrower. We hope they don't have Force, which they have Force in their deck too. And then if Borrower works and this bounces to hand, then we can draw Pride and give her and just get tons of energy and go totally crazy. It'll be awesome. This is maybe One Ring. Okay, I think it's... They don't... Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and bounce. Again, high likelihood they have a Force here. They have 6 cards in hand. Oh, wait. They can filter through. They don't have enough mana, though. What is this? K command. Okay, well, that's annoying. But we are at least getting this Chalice out of play for a turn cycle. And they played around Days, because they know I like to play Days in my decks. Like these days, pretty much every deck I'm playing, as long as it's not like a no reserve list deck, I'm playing Days, and I'm playing 4 Wastes. Okay, so that bounces out. Oh, they forced on top of it. Okay, well, that sucks. Yeah, I guess they found it. Yeah, we're going to lose. We're totally dead. I can mock this and just pay 2 mana. It sucks, but like it's literally the only play available to us, I think. I'll copy this. We get an energy. We're going to come in for 1. Like the odds of them not just having everything they need are very low. Their deck like just has to survive the first few turns, and they are going to. And now they have just so much mana, it's not even funny. They probably have giant K command here. Like there's no way we're winning. Unfortunately, blanked our entire hand. Okay, so here, post board, we are just. I don't bring in No Rod. It's not that good against them, but we do bring in Force Negation and Consigns, and I do think we bring this in, and then I'm going to take out the Plows. And I'm going to take these out, these Giver runes. It's just more 1-drops that get countered, unfortunately. Daze is pretty bad. We're on the play, though. Maybe we need the Daze to have a chance. What will we cut if we're cutting that? The thing about Tomio is, like, even though she can flip and ultimate and stuff, like, they're usually casting that Ugin card before that happens. I think our best chance is just to go turbo with the guide. Yeah, I'm going to trim a Tommy. I don't like doing that, but I feel like, I don't know, Brazen Borrower, it can attack for damage. I don't think I've ever beaten him. I don't even think I've won a game against him. His deck is just so well kind of like positioned against what we're trying to do. So I think this is Ocelot Pride and Prey. We can mock it, and we can try to go super wide. We have Days up. I don't think this hand's bad. And I also don't need to think that I'm just like phoning this last round in. I mean, we're playing one of the best players in the world. I don't know if he has any Eternal Championship, but like he is one of the best players. And he's on like an insanely overpowered deck that is just, until One Ring gets banned, we're just going to keep getting different variations of One Ring decks. So here, and I'm going to hold up Consign. We got Consign, we got Days. I think we're in a pretty good place. Like about as good a place as we get in this matchup. Okay, playing blue-black. What? Did he switch decks? Okay, if he has the Force, it's going to be annoying. Okay, that worked. What the heck? This mana base is completely different now. Okay, that's an interesting pivot. I've never seen that. Okay, so let's come in. Oh, that's a good draw. That's a good draw. Just in case he's got a subsequent one. I can't, like, we might need to consign, and yeah, I'm not going to show him the information. I'll just come in for a hug. Unfortunately, like, if they have another one of those, I will have to force it. No. I mean, like, this flies. I think we can just keep them at bay forever. I don't think I forced that because I need to be able to force One Ring. And I don't want to force pitching consign. I want to force pitching like a Tomio or something that's not going to be consequent. We can always consign the trigger, but that seems like a waste of a consign. Okay, they have lots of mana here. If I force it, I mean, we're going wide so fast. It doesn't feel good. Okay, it worked. Maybe leave a comment with a timestamp if you strongly disagree with that play. I think Daze is fine here. No, If I play another Pride, I'm just going to go completely crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we play this out, tapped. 9. The first one triggers. I think the odds, I think that's more likely to be impactful. And basically they have a sweeper. I don't know what sweeper they would have, but if they have that, they win. I feel kind of dumb doing what I did earlier. I'm not going to bluff. I'm just going to go ahead and attack, and we're going to get so many cats. Just an insane number of cats here. And we'll see whether it's good enough. I don't think they're playing Tomio, so they can't flip Tomio. I don't know that they're playing a sweeper. All this dust, I don't know. It's a lot of cats. Yeah, I feel dumb for forcing that Barragoyf, because we could have just attacked in the air, proc that. Yeah, we got lucky that they didn't. I love cat, bird. Everything's a bird. Bird's the word. All right, so here, Barragoyf makes me want to put my plows back in, but that might have been a temporary juke. I think we keep some in instead of prismatic ending. We can't kill Barrowy with prismatic ending. Daze is just so bad on the draw that I think we cut it completely. Maybe we do bring this in. Oh, maybe we just bring these in instead of plows. Because this can basically just stonewall their Barragoyf from ever connecting. Yeah, I'm going to bring these in. I think I'd be a fool not to. Okay, and then I'll just have 2 plows. That was a really interesting juke. I think they're just going to go back to 1 ring now. I think that they successfully got me to put 2 plows into my deck for no effect. But having to force those was pretty brutal. Their deck mulligans really well because it's basically just land and bombs. Yeah, this is a keep. Wasteland's really good against them. We don't do anything proactive here, but I'm not going to throw away this hand. They mulled a 5. I'm on a high because I actually beat him in a single game, which again, I don't think has ever happened with this deck. I've beaten him plenty of times when he's playing Oops and Blue Black. I think it's just Oops is the main deck he's been playing before this. Okay. This is a terrible land that let's search for a spell that James Casale plays. Oh wow. Yeah, I'm gonna you went deep. Your deck is mostly land, but you're baiting out my waste. Yeah, this is the card. Oh wow, they don't have freaking land. Okay, please let me capitalize on this somehow. All right, creature, love it. They said rough times. Okay, so I don't know that they play any non-basics in their deck. I think copying this would be really silly. I think this is just a brainstorm and a shuffle. Oh my goodness, this is terrible. Well, I'm going to do that. We'll just shuffle away these lands that we were about to. Should I mock this? I don't think it's correct to mock it. It just seems so weak. I'm just going to attack for 1 and pass. I'm sorry, but it just seems so bad mocking this when I could be if I wait, I might draw something that can be impactfully mocked. Okay, Ancient Tomb. Tellus on 1. I actually don't care about this since I have the borrowers and I'm about to waste them, so they won't be able to redeploy. The Tundra, I could have. Yeah, that's a pain. I'm just going to waste and I'll pass. They're unlikely to just draw another land. They probably have maybe 22, 23 lands in their deck, 24, but it's unlikely they'll draw another land. Okay, it's the bad land. All right, so I can bounce this back to hand at least. And if they force this, it's not that big of a deal. I wish I could apply more pressure. I'm going to brainstorm. Okay, Consign does... What card do we put back? Mockingbird takes anything we do find and suddenly turns it really strong. But I feel like we do need to... Maybe... Am I going to put back Ponder? I have to Ponder to shuffle this. I'm just trying to find... Guided Souls. I guess that's fine. And these other cards are fine to draw next turn. I don't mind drawing through these. So we'll hit for 1 and we'll pass. So next turn we just mock Guided Souls. And we can do that around... I wanted to hold up Force there. If they have a land, which I don't think they will, okay. And hold this up and we can just copy this. Okay. That gives us an energy. I think we just attack for 2 and we can just bounce the borrower out again. Or we have Consign with... Yeah, I don't think there's any reason to move here. Again, it sucks. They're getting closer to their game plan. We're not applying a ton of pressure, but these will start seeing... Like if we cast this out of exile or something. Okay, they're Lorien cycling. Man, I'll be really embarrassed if I lose this game that way. Underground Sea. They could play a Barragoyf and I would just borrow it out rather than force. And then I'd force if they fought over it. Nothing to be done here. Draw a Ponder, which I'm going to cast immediately because I want to find an Ocelot Pride. Bowmaster. I don't think this is that big of a deal. I'm not going to force this. Yeah, they are going to be able to kill the Giver of Runes. What the heck? Well, let's shuffle that. I'm glad I didn't draw. Now we draw. Now they get to ping again. She'll go ahead and give this pro black, I guess. And now we can hit him for 2. So we can hit him for more. Let's see. He's got pro black this turn though. Okay, I feel like we have enough interaction up. I'm just going to... This Delthar person is super duper chill. Like they always seem to be in a good mood. Like they have like the most like eek the cat, mentality. Barry, I think it's fine to let Barry resolve. Might regret that. They're tapped out. I'm just gonna block here. I don't think they can kill this. I'll be stunned if they have like their land. They haven't played a land yet. Okay. All right, Mockingbird. So I think we've just won. So we mock. And we'll just copy a Guide of Souls. Now we just go to combat. Wait, we don't. Unfortunately, I don't gain anything. These are flying. They hit in for. So now I borrow this out, and then I'm gonna wait till they go to combat, and then if they have force, I'll just deal with it. They only have 3 mana currently. That could change dramatically, very quickly. The best card they could have is probably that. The other locust that gains life. They could absolutely have more than one piece of stack interaction though. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and attempt to borrow this out of play. That worked. Okay, I'll just take 2. So these are all flying. They're dead in the air. Well, they're not dead if I don't have another creature to play. I think this card sucks, frankly. I guess they have tons of mana though, so it makes sense. I beat Delthar. I've never beaten you. Good games. I'll type GG in case they're still around. I don't think they are. But like super chill person. All right. Yeah, that was 2 back-to-back 4-1s. I hope you're seeing that this deck is the bee's knees. Bonkers strong. Let's pull up the list. Okay, so Giver was pretty good. Like Delthar respected it enough that he was like bowmastering it. We did get lucky in the final round. I'm not sure what's going on with the sideboard juke. He's just experimenting, but it feels weak. Normally the deck is like a 1-ring deck and it's doing lots of big mana stuff, and like Bowmasters just doesn't seem like where you want to be when you're but kudos to him for continuing to experiment. All right. So we have I mean like I'm still not completely sold on these, but they weren't bad. They'd allowed us to attack through TonyScapone's constructs and win that one game. They're just a cheap creature that procs your Guide of Souls, and that's really all your deck wants to do is get a Guide of Souls out and then start procking, and then the dream is to get an Ocelot Pride as well. If White had other good 1-drops that didn't just die to Bowmasters, I'd play them, but I don't think Esper Sentinel is good right now in Legacy. I just think it's too weak against Tamio. I mean, Brazen Borrower is the real star of the show. Like, let's talk about this. I was so sad that I had to play 4 Brazen Borrower because I couldn't think of anything else to play. But it's just been so good for me. It's so good. Pitches of Force, it closed some games. Like, I think there was a game where we against Oopsal spells where we just didn't have anything going on. And we were able to flash this in and just gradually win with it. And that's not something you usually get from interaction. You don't have interaction that's also a win con. There's a reason this is printed at Mythic Rare. This is an insane card. I don't have anything else to add. Like I've recorded for 4 hours and 30 minutes. This will probably be edited down quite a bit because there was a lot of dead time. But man, this was a blast. I love this deck. This is my favorite deck. I just ordered these in paper at like $45 each. It's like eye-watering. Like, what? This card's in print? And I'm fake, but I did get the retro borders. And Guide was not expensive. Like, this is in so many decks right now. Like, this combo is so strong that I finally am getting it after, nearly 18 months after Modern Horizons 3 came out. I'm finally buying this, but I saw it immediately and I thought it was awesome. Ever since the Punishing Waterfalls video where he did this, and he had Psychic Frog and like a lot of other kind of mediocre cards. Oh, obviously not mediocre. That's not a mediocre card, but he had a Johnny in it and stuff. And he was like, don't play a Johnny. He was playing like a 62 card pile and stuff like that. Man, like I'm just so happy to keep experimenting with this list. I feel like I'm still learning the lines. It may be counter to like when to like the heuristics I've observed. 1, always play Guide first, unless you have Giver Runes. Then maybe play Giver Runes first, then Guide, then Ocelot Pride. And then when you mock, you probably want to mock Guide, unless you're very close to getting the City's Blessing. Then you're going to gain so much life by just mocking your Ocelot Pride. But when you mock Ocelot Pride, you don't get to do the energy, boost to your creatures. You got boost power. You only get to do that once for each Guide you have, no matter how much energy you have. So that becomes a bottleneck as well. So I think it's often correct to just copy Guide. I mean, this is like the Guide of Souls deck, basically. And everything else is incidental. Like Tamio, I can't wait for her to get banned so I can take her out. I'm sure there's a lot of other stuff you could put in the deck that would be way better than this. But I just will continue to express the opinion that if you're not playing 4 Tamio in your blue deck, especially if it's a tempo deck like with Wastelands and Dazes, like you're just doing it wrong. And I've tried so hard to not do this, and like I've done everything I can because Mockingbird and Tamio are not friends. Mockingbird can never copy Tamio. Mockingbird does not even want to copy opposing Tamios, so it does make it really awkward, but Mockingbird has been so good. And there were lots of instances where, we've got a flying Ocelot Pride and we can attack and proc, so I think this is the list. I've iterated a lot of times. The sideboard feels great. It is nice being able to play Null Rod in my reserve list deck because this is such a powerful card right now. And if you're wondering why I haven't been playing on a lot of no reserve list decks, first, I think Standard Control that doesn't have Wasteland in it is very weak right now. And I think it's very hard to play Wasteland with more than one color when you are playing no dual lands. The second thing I'll observe is that No Rod is insane right now. And that's a reserve list card, unfortunately. And it's way better than like Stony Silence or something. But like, I tried playing a lot of the mono white warp decks, and I've got some videos on my channel. I'll publish some more too. It's a nice change of pace, but I feel like the mono white list it does lose so much to combo. And what did we play today? I think we played like the final round wasn't combo, and then we played Jeskai. And I think in the first league, we played like one deck that wasn't combo. I can't remember what it was. So there's a lot of freaking combo. And it's not just in the leagues. It's 50% of the meta. And my advice to people who don't have dual lands is they're probably never going to be cheaper than they are now until like Magic literally ends as something that people do, which might be like another 20 or 30 years from now. It might be even longer than that. So it'd be crazy if 70 years after Magic's printing, people are still playing with these decaying pieces of cardboard because they refuse to reprint them. But I don't know. Blue White seems like a really strong combo. Plow came up not very much at all. It was almost always boarded out. But it is really good when you're in Fair Mirrors, and it's good against against Reanimator. I think, didn't we Plow one of their threats? Yeah, I think we still lost that game, but it's cool that we can do that. You can't Fatal Push a Archon of Cruelty, right? So I'll leave it there. I'm sure this video is plenty long. If you enjoyed this, if you watched the entire thing, I hope you will consider leaving comments with timestamps to just give me feedback on my play. All I really want to do is just improve my play. That's the whole reason I started this channel, so I can watch back and see, the mistakes I made and catch them and get feedback from the community. And also, just because I enjoy, sharing my brews. And I didn't really have an outlet to do that. I build a brew and then I go in and I'm like, oh, that was awesome. That was a 4-1, which is good for a brew. And then, I would not have any artifact to that. Maybe I could tweet a deck list, but that's not the same as showing literally the entire leagues. I think this is and if you're considering playing a lot of Magic, I strongly encourage you to do what I'm doing. I've got a guide. You can get all the software you need. I do auto editor on Python. And it just edits everything for me, edits out all the silence. And when I'm not recording the actual leagues, I'm spending like maybe 10 minutes per video on like creating the thumbnail and uploading it to YouTube. It's not time intensive at all. This is a very, like, aside from the fact that I just spent 4.5 hours playing 2 leagues, this is a very time efficient hobby. And like, if you want to be a creator, like there are lots of creators on the scene that just get like, you know, hundreds of views on their videos, which is awesome. And I think there's like an underserved market on YouTube. So if you're already like serious about playing Magic the Gathering and especially Legacy, and you want to create, like, there is room for you to do that. I'll just say that. And you can not only improve your game, but you can also, you know, potentially have people recognize you at the card shop and be like, oh, hey, be excellent. You know, it's fun. I like it. And I love playing people who are familiar with the channel. It puts me at a disadvantage, just like the Epic Storm. You know, Brian Cook, he's at a huge disadvantage because everybody always knows he's going to be playing the Epic Storm, right? Everybody can check his latest list and all that stuff. But I think it's worth it to him because I think he truly digs what he's doing. And same thing for all the other creators. I'm hyped to see what everybody does. Keep jamming these tempo decks, keep jamming control decks, keep jamming fair decks, and let's keep fair represented. I mean, we're well under, you know, we're well under 50% representation in the control/tempo category right now, but I'm optimistic we'll get back. And yeah, hopefully they'll print some good answers. Like I said, the 1-mana Null Rod to go with our 1-mana Grafdigger's Cage. How good is this card? And Null Rod, of course, is great too, but like, it was scary. I might not have found the second land to be able to cast this, right? I got lucky and I did, and I jammed it, and Tony had no recourse, and that felt great. Yeah, anyway, like, I'll stop talking. Until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.